Blog Talk Radio.
He's not me. Yes, I am. I'm much taller. No, you're not. You're fatter, though. No, I'm not. We're the same. We're not the same at all. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Yes, we are.
I'm greater than, lesser than, and equal to the universe. You know, I'm greater than it because I can contain it in my mind, and lesser than it because that's obvious, schmuck. And I'm equal to it because I'm of the same atoms it is. And I always say that what that does for me is connect me to everything and make me a part of it. I earnestly believe that it is all one spirit, all one energy, all one beat, and there are just these different manifestations of it. Because of that, I feel very safe in the universe. I feel very comfortable and very at home because it is only me. And hey, it's only me. Remember that? Hey, it's okay. It's only me. No, that's what the universe says to me. None of this shit can scare me because, hey, it's only me. No fucking problem.
So everything that exists is everything that exists. I am everything that exists. So are you. The more you realize that, the more you open up to the full infinity of who you are.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
That is the problem. That's the crisis. It's not political crisis, economic crisis, or the crisis of war. But the crisis is in ourselves.
The way out of this is the ultimate revolution. It's to be who we are and not what someone else tells us we should be.
Christ, Buddhas, Krishnas, Muhammad, Wabokas, you are all the same as them. Every single one of them said that to all of you. He did not mean follow him in a religious context. He meant be the way I am.
No, you listen to me.
Because you are.
Listen to me.
That way.
Go to yourself, because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube, you eat like the tube, you raise your children like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
We have created this society, so we are responsible for that society. But is it possible not to change society, but is it possible to radically, deeply transform our condition, our consciousness, which is what we are? Is it possible?
All right, Freedomizers, you're here with Nickie Nix on this beautiful Friday afternoon as we try to rise above dehumanization. Such an issue we see constantly around this world. But hey, we have a great blogger, YouTube aficionado, researcher of just about any information, we should all try to research, down from space, nature, our past, secret society, the great Punisher, man. Helton, Ron Helton. Yeah.
Thank you. How you doing this?
I'm so used to being up at late night. I almost said this morning or last night. Oh boy, yeah. I had to make an emergency cigarette run about 2 minutes before this show started, so it was a little harrowing. But I got back just in the nick of time, so it all works out for the good, right?
It very much does, and we definitely want you to have your nicotine and no nicotine fits, So it's a very good thing about taking care of.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's nice to have calm hands when you're handling weapons. Absolutely.
There you go. And I did want to say thank you to Uncle Buck for getting us in touch, which he very much appreciates your friendship, and we all love Uncle Buck around here. So I definitely want to say thank you to him for getting us in touch. So.
Well, absolutely. I like Uncle Buck, too. I just don't like the static line on his chin up. He needs to check that out because there's a short in there somewhere, brother. Half the time I'm talking to him on the phone, he's sounding like Bobby the Robot, So you might want to take a look at that static line on that chin up there, buddy. But other than that, yeah, man, I like the guy. He's cool. He's cool.
Well, you have a lot of people here in the chat room, very excited that you're here. So I guess, not that I know anybody's true names because it's all,
Well, unfortunately, I did not have a chance to promo because yesterday evening I had a chance to do an interview with somebody who wished to remain anonymous that had some insider info, and so unfortunately I wasn't able to do a promo for this show, so nobody knows that I'm doing this show on my hand.
Yeah, I put out a lot, and you have somebody in here named Birthday67 says, don't worry, Vaughn, your stickum friends are here to cheer you on. So.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, there goes the neighborhood. But, oh, well. But, yeah, I'm okay. I was not, I got somebody that had some insider information, and, yeah, I know the idea that it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin of a neighbor of an aunt who's twice removed from their last cousin, but hey, if the information pans out, who gives a rip where it comes from, right? That's the way it looks, at from my perspective. So, but things look like they're definitely, I don't know if you got the chance to check the video out, but there's people putting up videos on YouTube from all over Michigan where Michigan is literally cracking apart. And we now got a total of 3 videos up for Michigan so far where Michigan is literally cracking apart. You can actually see huge cracks in the ground. And to give you an idea of what, and I had a chance to talk to somebody briefly via email about it. They said one night their backyard was perfectly fine. Well, not their backyard, but their back field. You know what I'm talking about. And their field was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, just in fact, they had turned over the ground previously because of the cold weather that was coming at the time. They go out there now, man, and the next, they wake up the next day and and the ground has elevated, literally elevated. The ground is literally raised up by a minimum of 5 to 10 inches, and this huge crack is there where there wasn't anything, and there's this hot air coming out of the crack. Okay, so Michigan, when I say Michigan is literally cracking apart, I'm not, that's not an exaggeration. And we now have 3 videos on YouTube about that, and probably we'll get more as the time goes along because apparently this is not done. This is just, this is the opening salvo, if you will. It's definitely not done.
So this is mainly that new nice little opening that happens kind of got pushed forward because of the oil, right? The Gulf oil.
No, I don't believe this has anything to do with oil.
It's something completely different, right?
I don't believe this has anything to do with oil. I believe this has to do with the New Madrid fault line.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, the new fault line that they became aware of because of the explosion.
Well, actually, I've known for a long time that the Mississippi River was a fault line. I wasn't quite sure of the name, but I knew it was a fault line.
So, wow. So maybe that whole, nice little images they show with the U.S. split from the Great Lakes down to the coast seems to be splitting right now.
It is not an exaggeration, no. No.
It isn't. And like I said, there's already 3 videos up about it on YouTube and growing, I suspect. As the time wears on, I fully expect to see more videos out of Michigan, more videos out of the Mississippi Delta, where the Mississippi Delta is literally cracking. I mean, you know, this is not, this is not, what's the word? Sensationalism. That's the word I'm looking for. This is not sensationalism, folks. You know, this is actually happening. It is.
There's another person in the chat room. He keeps going. He says that Toby Michael. He says that he's gotten all his survival info from you, and he's not ready to move yet. But he goes, "Where should I move? Please tell me, Vaughn." He wants to know where to go.
High ground, man. Get to high ground. You need to be at least 800 feet above sea level. You can go online and get to any input topographical map in a Google search or a Yahoo search or a Lyco search or Bing search. Bing is the new one. But just put topographical map in a search engine and go check out the topographical map for your area, and it will tell you where all the high ground is in your area. You need to be at least 800 feet above sea level. Now, why is that, Vaughn? The reason why you need to be at least 800 feet above sea level is because of what they call the bathtub effect. All right? Now, what the bathtub effect does is, just like it sounds like, the water will be sloshing back and forth like it's in a bathtub. That's literally how it will be. Excuse me. And so it will literally be sloshing around, and it will fill in a lot of low-lying areas, even as far in as the mainland. But see, what people don't realize is that with the United States being split in 2 like it is now, this is just going to aggravate and extenuate the situation, okay? Now, I don't know if anybody out there has caught this, but there's a video on YouTube that is showing Indonesia from the air. Indonesia is sinking. Literally. It's sinking. Okay, so this, you know, so it's not isolated. Whatever's going on is certainly not isolated to the United States. It is literally sinking, and it's not, you know, because, and a lot of people think, oh, well, you know, it's the spring rains over there, the rivers are just overflowing their banks. No, 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 no. If you look at the aerial footage in the video, the rivers are fine. They're not overflowing their banks at all. What is happening is that the ground has cracked underneath Indonesia, and the country is literally sinking into the ocean, literally. Okay, so you know, this, oh well, you know, this is just an isolated thing that's happening in America. No, 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 no. It's happening in Indonesia. Indonesia is literally sinking. The video is on YouTube. Just put Indonesia is sinking in a YouTube search. It'll come right up.
Yeah, it seems like there's actually worldwide changes. Okay, they wanted me to tell you in the chat room real quick that the Toby Michael, he's White Buffalo.
Right, right. I know who Toby Mike is.
Okay, well, they told me to make sure that you knew, so I wanted to mention that.
I know Toby, yes. I know. I'm not that dense. I have a long memory when it comes to some things. But no, Indonesia is literally sinking into the sea. Michigan is cracking up literally cracking apart. We've got Iceland. Iceland has a new volcano, a mega volcano. There's a mega volcano in. Okay, now if y'all remember, back in, what was it, 2008, 2009, Iceland had a major volcano to go off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this volcano in Iceland makes the one that went off in 2008, 2009 look like a tinker toy. Okay? It looks like a kiddie's toy compared to the one that went off a couple of years ago. This is a mega volcano. It's not big like Yellowstone, but it's a mega volcano in Iceland, and they're predicting, the scientists, not Von Helton ain't saying jack. The scientists are saying that this mega volcano in Iceland could erupt at any moment. Literally any moment. Okay. So this would be akin to Mount St. Helens here in the States going off. Okay. And that is poised to happen at any moment, literally any moment. Okay, so I've actually been kind of monitoring that late last night. I was actually kind of monitoring that to see if it had already blown or not. And when it blows, it's going to put out as much ash as Mount St. Helens did, possibly even more. Okay, so we got that to look forward to. Now, on the other side, pardon my coughing. It's not cigarette cough, folks. It's coughing from being hoarse. On the other side of the planet, we have a volcano that they're watching in Japan that could go off at any moment. It's not as big as the one in Iceland, but it's a good-sized one.
And didn't it already erupted partially, at least started belching?
Right. It started belching a little bit. It has not done a full eruption yet, but they're expecting that it will. Okay, so what did I say in my video? I said, folks, that when you start to see multiple volcanoes erupting at the same time, that is a probability. I now emphasize, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying probability. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I'm saying it's a probability that is a good indicator of your pole shift right there. Because a physical pole shift would affect multiple volcanoes on multiple continents.
So what's your opinion about this whole idea about it happening, what they say, around March 14th, 15th, could be like the big change, but they're kind of changing that date as well, but March?
Well, according to one source, it could be as early as March to as late as the end of July, early August. Okay? Depending upon, it just depends on who you talk. I've heard anywhere within that little span of time there. Okay. Now, obviously, if mid to late August comes and nothing major's happened, we should be good to go for a little while. All right. But if, and I stress the word if, Iceland's volcano, Japan's volcano, and a volcano here in the States goes off simultaneously, that is your cue to run. And I mean run. I don't mean, oh, honey, let's pack our shit and go. No, screw that. If you see 3 fucking volcanoes all over the world go off at the same time, you run. You don't worry about packing your shit. You're too late for that. You get in your car and you head to high ground immediately. Screw your job. Screw what your boss says. Screw what your mom says or your neighbor says. To heck with them. You get in your car and you run. Because if 3 volcanoes all across this world goes off at the same time, I am telling you right now, that is a damn good indicator that we're about to pole shift. All right. So we're done with the placating. We're done with the oh, Bon, it's all a conspiracy theory. No, at that point, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. At that point, it's no longer a laughing matter. You get in your car and you head to high ground immediately. I don't give a damn what anybody tells you. I don't give a damn how many scientists line up behind them saying, oh, yes, he's right. No, you get in your car and you run immediately. Because at that point, it's not a game. All right? Now, right now, we got some leeway. We got some free time. I suggest people use their free time to start gathering up food, water, medical supplies. Keep emergency kits in your automobile in case you need to hop in the car and run.
Do you mind taking a call? We've actually got a caller in here from a 51 area code. We always welcome people to pose their opinions. So 651 area code, you're here with the Punisher.
Hi, it's White Buffalo. I've been listening to Vaughn for a number of years, and I don't know, it's like there's volcanoes, there's flooding, there's earthquakes, there's all of these catastrophes and disasters. It seems like no matter where you go, you go to a mountain, it's going to be a volcano. It's like in the pole shift and all the animals dying. I'm just wondering if there really is any safe place. And the follow-up question, and then I'll get off and listen to Vaughn's response. But is there any chance that perhaps the light beings will intervene and help us out in some way to overcome all of this? Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, Buffalo, it depends on who you talk to. Because now Steve Quayle was just on somebody's show the other night talking about a high-level elite contact that he had gotten a hold, an ex-member of the elite. He is no longer a member of the elite now. He actually left them in disgust. Because according to Steve Quayle, this contact that he had was all set to go. He had his ticket for his underground bunker and all that good stuff. And when he found out that the elites were going to systematically slaughter all of humanity here on the surface while they were snug as a bug in their underground bunkers, that was too much for him to stand. And he said, look, man, I don't advocate that at all. You know, if we try to save ourselves, that's one thing, but I'm not advocating killing anyone else unless nature takes them. And so he's no longer an elite. But he said that what they're going to do, okay, and I even linked a website that is already showing this. All right, there is chemtrails now that are showing up illuminated. Okay, they're showing up as orange and yellow. All right, and it's not from the sun. There is an orange-yellow chemical reaction actually in the chemtrails as they expand. All right, and I've actually linked that to my latest video. All right, what is happening is that there is a change in the chemical mixture of the chemtrails now. And according to this elitist, former elitist now, they will start putting chemicals in the chemtrails to kill the people of Earth. They're going to start doing it. Possibly as soon as June. Possibly as soon as June. Now, is this true? I have no idea. I did not actually listen to the radio interview with Steve Quayle myself. I got this from another source, which shall remain nameless. But allegedly, Steve Quayle had a chance to talk with a former elitist, and that they are literally going to start killing us, possibly now, listen to me carefully, possibly as early as June. And like I said in my latest video on YouTube, I have a link to chemtrails that are orange and yellow. You can actually see a chemical reaction happening within the chemtrail as it begins to expand. All right, this is obviously a clue that they've changed the mixture. Okay, now change it to what? Well, that's anybody's guess. But yeah, this is hardcore, man. This is serious. And I know there's still going to be people out there, oh man, this is all bullshit, that's all bullshit. Well, you know, that's fine. Believe what you want. But
and for those listening in the chat room, I did put a link to Von Helton's YouTube channel account, and we've already gotten responses. There's some people that are already working on subscribing to your account right now. So.
Oh, okay. Well, good deal. Good deal. But yeah, I did put a link in my latest video showing these chemtrails. Okay, as the chemtrail expands, it produces a yellow-orangish glow from the chemical reaction. Okay, and this you know, so have they already changed the chemical makeup of chemtrails? I don't know, but I find it odd that these chemtrails are starting to do this now, whereas before they did not do that. Okay.
I have an interesting theory I want to pose to you in just a second, but it looks like Uncle Buck's on the line. So, Uncle Buck.
Hey guys, good show, Vaughn. Dickie, it's just excellent sounding. Vaughn, we've got our bug out property, you know where, as an alternative to where you're at, so that's always open to you. But one of the things I wanted to mention, you know, this winter here, it was in December, I was going to take 97 over by not Lake Shasta, but Shasta Mountain, and it was closed due to snow and volcanic ash. That was Shasta in California, and I was like, what the hell was on the road report when you dialed into 511? So, you know, it's kind of interesting that one's coming alive again, too, with old Mount Shasta.
Well, that's interesting because there's your third volcano right there.
Yeah. I remember calling Nickie and telling her about it. I was like, I can't take it because it says, you know, volcanic ash and snow. And it just, they didn't make the news or anything, but it was on the road report to truckers and everyone else that we couldn't take that way around. But I'll just shut up and say, great show, and there we go. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, we love Uncle Buck here. So thank you so much, Uncle Buck. So yeah, so Mount Shasta.
Well, now see, there could be your third volcano right there, folks. That could be it. That could be your third volcano. Now, if Shasta and the volcano in Iceland and the volcano in Japan all begin to erupt on or about the same day. Close to it. You know, there might be a day's difference, a couple days difference. But if they all go off around the same time, forget saying, honey, we need to pack, we need to, no, you get in your car immediately. You get in your car immediately and you head for high ground. Okay, because that as far as I know right now, that is a prominent indicator that a physical pole shift will occur.
Well, you do know, like, George Bush Jr. actually bought, all that land out in the mountains in, South America and Peru? What we know is, close to where they have the nice little ruins that,
Yes.
He bought all that property. I mean, we're talking absolutely an insane amount. I mean, they're talking, you can't even do acres. It's beyond acres. I forget the word they used. It was, it's an insane amount of property in the highest mountain on this hemisphere. You know what I mean? Or on the western hemisphere.
Correct. They bought up a lot of strategic places all over the earth. Okay, they bought them up all over the earth. Strategic locations that they believe will survive a physical pole shift. Now, are they right? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But they could be.
You might also suggest there's been lots of things that have been found, like tunnel works and caves that existed prior to the flood. So we're talking...
Well, the irony of it is that I just got through watching on Discovery just yesterday where they were talking about underground tunnels and caverns that they had found that were dated, and my daughter's making dolphin sounds in the background, but they had found underground caverns that are actually thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of years old, predating humanity. Okay? So now wait a minute. If we got all these tunnels and underground caverns and cities that predate humanity,
our knowledge of humanity,
Well, the thing of it is, I want to ask the naysayers and haters out there. We've confirmed that these underground cities and these underground tunnels predate humanity. So my question to the naysayers, the haters, and the trolls is this: if humanity wasn't here to build them, who did? Okay?
And see, that's the thing. Pay attention to each culture. Every culture talks about, there being something here before. They talk about the giants. They talk about the civilizations that built those tunnels. Every culture has a similar story that talks about these huge giants that were here prior to man.
Right. Yeah, and when you're the size of the New York skyscraper, you can probably dig out a tunnel pretty darn easy,
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking some creatures as tall as 30 foot high in some cases, if not bigger.
Oh yeah, but anybody who dares speak to that, no, they'll be quieted. In fact, speaking of the new fault line, when some of that new, the tectonic work was happening, and you had, we've got a bunch of callers, so I want to finish this statement real quick.
Correct.
When all this tectonic activity started, there was a mountainside or a hillside in Arkansas. And what they found on this hill or mountain was it was actually not real. It had concrete and rebar. But this predated but nobody hears about that. Or the simple fact they said it was a part of a larger network that was used as a damming system,
Right.
So then it kept in two large rivers, the Arkansas and another large one is what they say. They don't know which other large one, but whatever, because we're talking the size of Louisiana and Arkansas size of a spillway. That's huge in proportion.
Correct. Now, my question is that if this concrete and rebar, which anybody in construction is going to know what we're saying when we're talking about concrete.
And how important this is.
Well, the thing of it is that if this concrete and rebar predates humanity, who made it? That's my question to the naysayers, the haters, and the trolls. Okay, because the scientists are saying this. Now, Von Helton, the scientists are saying that a lot of this stuff they're finding predates humanity. So, if there's no humans to make it, who made it? You know, and it kind of goes back along that age-old question: who built the pyramids? Okay, you know.
We're going to bring in back in Uncle Buck. Hey, Uncle Buck.
Hey, I just wanted to say, you know, if folks want to see underground, Vaughn was involved in this. He got me to load into, you know, a deep underground cavern, which was a huge, and still is, video on YouTube. You can go to my channel and check me out with all the 18-wheelers, you know, like 2,000 feet below the surface, and, you know, kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. And Vaughn was instrumental in that, getting me in there. So I just wanted to tell people, hey, you want to see one for real underground? Go to my channel and check out my huge underground, you know, food storage cavern.
Well, I'm going to share with you what happened on the phone that you don't know about, because there was a lot of people that don't know about this. Because now a lot of people on that video are saying, well, it's just an underground food storage facility. That's correct. It is an underground food storage facility. But if you had listened into the phone conversation that I had trying to get that route for him, you would have seen me sitting there arguing and begging just for him to get in there to get his load unloaded or uploaded. Okay, I really had to do some serious talking to get him in there. Okay, and that is no bullshit, because they were not going to let him in. They did not know him. They told me, they said, we don't know this guy. We're not going to let him in there. I said, look, man, he's been at work for over 33 years. He knows the route. Let him in there to do his load. And so I really had to talk to people to get him in there, you know, because everybody say, oh, well, it's just a food storage facility. And that's true. It is just a food storage facility, but it's an underground food storage facility, folks.
Yeah, and it's security is armed. You're not getting in there without the right paperwork and credentials. And you know, I don't know. Maybe you could fit 2,000, 3,000 trucks in there. It just goes on and on forever. Who knows? But you'll get lost in it. But yeah, I mean, that gives people a clue. Is you know, they can see. That's technology right there. What does the U.S. you know government have? Something far more fantastic than that. Even though I think that is the U.S. government, just on a more civilianized level.
Right.
Well, do you mind if we go ahead and bring this other caller too? I think it's probably the same person that was on before, but 651 area code.
Go ahead.
Hi, it's so again, I'm sorry to call again, but I'm legitimately concerned, and I don't think respectfully that my question was answered.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there any chance that the light beings will intervene and if we're in trouble?
Yeah, we kind of cut off a tangent. I'm sorry. Well,
if we're in trouble, can we contact them? And how would we do that?
All right. Those of you that have not read it yet, I encourage you to go online and Google George Washington's prophecy. All right. In George Washington's prophecy, it states that the whole earth comes against the United States, or what is left of it. And just as it looks like the United States is about to be utterly and completely destroyed, angels, as Washington called them, come down from the heavens and give us support, give us encouragement. They don't do our battling for us, but they come down, they give us support, they give us encouragement, and then we rise up, we start fighting back the invaders, and we eventually repel them out of our country. That's in George Washington's prophecy. That is the third great battle in his prophecy. Now, the interesting thing about this prophecy is, well, you know, why is this prophecy even credible? It's credible because the first battle that George Washington is talking about, according to the angel that he spoke with, he called it an angel. You call it whatever you like. But the first battle was the actual battle that he was in right then, the Revolutionary War. The next battle that it talks about is the Civil War. Okay, so we actually can prove that the second battle has come to pass. It was the Civil War here in the States. So this third battle is as yet not happened. Okay, and George Washington's prophecy was published something like 1856 or some crap like that. Okay, so it's way the fuck back there. Okay, this is not, this is not something two guys in a computer store put out. Reference to Y2K, anyone? But but yeah, this is going way back there, folks. And and a lot of people, a lot of ex-government employees are convinced that George Washington's prophecy is legit. Okay, so will it happen? I don't know, but but it makes for an interesting read, especially considering that the second war in the prophecy came to pass, and it was the Civil War here in the States. Now, as far as the light beings intervening here very, very soon, I spoke with somebody on Skype the other night who wished to remain anonymous, that actually benevolent ETs were going to come to our aid if and when it looks like the New World Order is going to try and slaughter us all. And I don't know if they're going to try and diffuse the chemicals in the air or how they're going to do it. But according to him, they would try to stop the New World Order's agenda of mass global extinction. Of course, after all this is said and done, what we need, folks, is we need a 9-judge tribunal, and we need to bring these elitist families in front of those judges for crimes against humanity and war crimes. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. We need to get with people all over the world and actually talk to them, people in other countries, Germany, Sweden, even the Middle East countries, and we need to actually sit down and talk to them via Skype, via the internet, whatever, and say, hey, look, we need a 9-panel tribunal similar to Nuremberg, and we need to bring these elitist families to justice. Folks, a lot of the tensions in the Middle East probably are due to a man by the name of Zbigniew Brzezinski. Okay, now some of you that's been around me a long time knows exactly who that is. A lot of people are probably shaking their head going, who? Okay, Zbigniew Brzezinski is an elitist. He is a New World Order type. He's been active in politics like crazy. And he actually went to the Middle East. And it is entirely possible that he actually fomented a lot of the crap that's going on in the Middle East. Now, this is information that a lot of people are not privy to. So it isn't, and the interesting thing about it was he did not do it under the auspices of the United States, folks. He did it under the auspices of the CFR and the Trilateral Commission, who, I might point out, has in their bylaws the destruction of the United States in favor of what? In favor of a one world government. Okay, so he did not do this under the auspices of the United States. Okay, so all those haters out there that hate the United States, sorry, wrong. It wasn't done under the auspices of the United States. It was done under the auspices of the CFR and the Trilateral Commission. Okay, so a lot of the crap that is going on in the Middle East can either directly or indirectly be pointed at Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Awesome.
And ironically, I'm sitting here staring at a big photograph, well, alleged photograph of a Nazi UFO. So the irony and the timing is just incredible.
Have you heard about this idea that the simple fact that part of the way the pyramids were constructed were to allow, I guess, a nice launching area for, certain crafts, I guess?
Well, I did not believe at first what was going on with the pyramids here just recently until I actually saw a blurb in the mainstream news. Okay, now, for those of you that do not know what's going on in Egypt, Egypt is absolutely going apeshit, but the protesters are nowhere near the pyramids.
No.
Nowhere near them.
And in fact, the protesters were protecting the
museums and
Thank
stuff.
you. Yes.
Right. Okay, now, there's nobody near the pyramids. Okay, nobody. Not pro-Mubarak people, not anti-Mubarak people, not anybody. Nobody is around the pyramids. Okay, the pyramids are not in danger. So the question becomes, why is every major military on Earth sending a contingency to the Middle East to help guard the pyramids? Now you say that's bullshit, Von. If it's bullshit, go Google it real quick. Go Google it real quick. You will see that I'm telling the truth. The Egyptian army was the first to put a contingency around the pyramids, and now we are being told, in fact, I just saw on the news just the other day, we're steaming 2 carriers into that area to put a contingency around the pyramids to protect them. Now, why? Folks, why do we need to protect the pyramids if there isn't anybody putting the pyramids in danger? Think, folks, think. Use your brain. Why? Why is it happening? And why is the navies of all the earth down in the Gulf of Aden watching this spiral water spout that keeps
I
spinning?
gotta ask you, do you ever watch any of Daniel Adorio's videos?
I occasionally I'll try to catch everybody. I get tons of email every day.
Yeah, okay, well, he said yesterday they talked about that big, that Air Force or the military base that was evacuated. And they talked about the gamma ray burst or something that came from an artifact that they got off the coast of
Yeah, you're talking about Dougray, Utah.
Yes.
Yes. But see what happened just now in Florida, right? There's all these delegates, man of war, Portuguese man of war now. All of a sudden coming out of there, they talk about this gamma ray burst from whatever Stargate or pyramid-like structure. But from what I understand, they're saying it was a Stargate.
Well, I reported on something that Jaime Maussan. Oh, by the way, for all of those people out there that say I'm racist against Mexicans, if I'm so racist against Mexicans, how come I'm friends with Jaime Maussan down in Mexico? Just thought I'd throw that shit out there. Anyway, I did a re-up of one of Jaime Maussan's videos where he talks to a man who was able to get a picture of one of the pyramids down in Mexico. And this pyramid down in Mexico had this huge blue beam coming out of the top of it going straight up into the sky. Okay, and this was caught on video and on still frames. Okay, and Jaime Maussan has the video, he has the still pictures, he has all that information. He even went on Mexican national TV and showed all this to a critic, to a skeptic. And the skeptic was like, wow, okay? So the skeptic isn't even a skeptic anymore. but yeah, it's this blue beam came straight up out of the Mexican pyramid. I don't know if it was the pyramid of Tiwanaku or not.
It was.
Huh?
It was.
It was. Okay, well, all right, fine then. But it was a Mexican pyramid, and this blue beam just shoots straight up out of the pyramid. We've got video, we've got pictures, we've got eyewitnesses.
On more than one device, on iPod, on those iPhones, and on it was like amazing.
Correct. And the skeptic was there when it happened, and he was the person who was in charge of a TV show, and so he invited Jaime.
Filming it.
Yeah. So he invited Jaime onto his show to talk about this thing. And he says, look, man, I was there. I saw the iPhone. Now, this is a skeptic, folks. This is a hardcore skeptic saying this. I was there. I saw the iPhone. I saw the beam. I saw the gasp of all the people who watched this big, huge beam come out of the pyramid. You know, because everybody's like, wow, look at that. You know, I suck at Spanish, so I can't do it in Spanish. But anyway, you know, so I mean, this is, you know, so what was that all about? And the beam was a precursor, I believe, to the stuff that's occurring now. Now, that's my own personal opinion, though. You know, that I could be wrong on that, but that's my own personal opinion. But yeah, so you know, everything is just kind of falling into place like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. But now I can't stress enough, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I can't stress enough. If you see multiple volcanoes going off at the same time or around the same time, maximum of a day difference between them, run to high ground as fast as you can. Don't worry about packing supplies. You're beyond that. You know, that stuff you need to be doing now. You know, if
just for the knowledge of the other caller, Buffalo, I let your mic unmuted quite a while ago, but you're with us as well, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you too, Uncle Buck. Yours has been unmuted, but also he's stuck on too, so.
Sure, I'm just muting myself in a lot of truck, but I'm enjoying the show. Good information, and Vaughn, we got to head up there to see Red Elk and do our cave exploration for UFO stuff.
Yeah, well, Red Elk is a very good source, and the Hopi prophecies are another very good source. And, I think I can't remember, but I think it was the Navajo who talk about in their writings of the serpent brothers from the skies,
Yeah, Robert Morning Sky, half Hopi and half Apache, actually.
Yeah. And in fact, I got a very nice letter from Robert Morning Sky. He has given me permission to use his stuff whenever I wish. And so thank you to Mr. Morning Sky. If you just happen to be listening, I don't know if you would be or not, but in case you are, thank you ever so much for that. So, I mean, folks, I got people I talk to all over the world. I've got Jaime Maussan in Mexico. I've got Robert Morning Sky out west. I've got people in Europe. I've got people in Africa. I've got people in Russia. I'm slowly but surely getting a network of very, very credible people who kind of have a good idea what the hell's going on. And as it gets closer and closer to the time of the end here, folks, we're gonna see that increase. We need to start networking. We need to start getting with people that we know we can trust, and and have a contingency plan on where you want to go. Now is the time. Now is the time to figure out where you're going to go if those volcanoes start erupting, folks, because you need to do it. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, if the volcanoes go off, none of the mountains will be safe. No. That's not necessarily true. Lava is like water. It will take the path of least resistance. Okay, so if you already have an open volcano somewhere nearby, chances are good that it's going to go out that hole instead of creating a new one. Now, that's not a guarantee, but it's more likely that if there's a place for the pressure to escape, it's going to use that as opposed to making a new hole. Okay, so, don't be discouraged about going to the mountains if volcanoes start going off, because that's not necessarily the case. You still have a place to go to hide and, seek out caves in the mountains, seek out these parks up in the mountains to get away from this. Now, as far as getting back to the light beings, all right, the light beings very well could intervene on us as early as February the 28th, according to one source that I have. All right, now if that's the case, it's bye-bye New World Order, bye-bye reptilians, and bye-bye grace. Because I think, according to this source, he thinks, or she thinks, that the light beings are about fed up. They're about fed up with the crap that's going on. They have heard the cries of the people, and they're about fed up. And once the light beings reach that point, they can kiss their happy asses goodbye, because they'll just come in and clean house. And the light beings don't play around. One light being kicked 6 grays a new asshole. All right, so that's pretty damn powerful.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're scared of us. We're all scared of these other, aliens, whatever. I'm sorry. We're more powerful than, they would ever have us believe. They're scared of us. I'm just saying. You know what? If they came up to me, I'd do whatever. They better be afraid of me.
I'm telling you right now that if I get in a sticky situation, I'm putting a call up to the light beam, because them dudes kick major ass. Okay? I don't know if you're aware of this story, so I'll relate it to you for those that may not know. There was a lady that was being abducted by grays every night, almost every night. She got fed up. She got tired of it. She's like, hey, man, I'm not going this time. And they paralyzed her, started taking her out of the building and all that good shit. She's like, no, I'm not going. And so she could still use her mind, because they didn't paralyze her mind. So she could still use her mind. And she screamed, I need some help. And the next thing she knows, here comes this ball of light into her room. And it formed into, she called it an angel, but it was a light being. And this thing come in, and all of these grays, she had 6 grays around her. And it took the grays, it literally grabbed the grays and threw them through the wall. It literally threw them through the wall. 6 of them, threw them all through the wall, and then unparalyzed her, put her back in the bed, and said, look, as long as you respect yourself, we'll respect you. And then poof, it was gone. So these creatures are powerful. So if I get in a bad situation, I'm putting a call up to the light beings. Because them guys kick major ass, all right? So yeah, you know, I'm not terribly worried. If I can't handle it myself, then I just put a call up to the light beings and say, hey, I need some help down here, damn it. You know,
hey, the one thing I totally didn't do is take my break. So I missed my half hour, and I gotta like be nice to the people that help produce Re-Humanizer Radio.
Right, you gotta pay the bills, right? I understand. That's fine.
So let me do that real quick. And Freedomizers, we're going to be right back here with you. Of course, the Punisher, Von Helton, which has been a great conversation thus far, which is why, yeah, I totally missed the half hour. So,
well, hey, you know, you get talking about something that's really interesting, and then, you know, you lose track of time.
Yeah. So we'll be right back with you in just a few minutes. Let me find the ads. That's one thing doing everything, because I've got to cover the switchboard. Let me find it. Okay, move things. I think things are missing and moved around on me. It's so weird. Okay, hold on. I got to find something. Okay, here we go. There we go. We'll be right back, Freedomizers. Sorry about that. We'll be right back with you with Nickie Nix and Rise Above Dehumanization.
Hi folks, CT here. I want to talk to you about a great preparedness resource, tomorrowsharvest.com. Whether it's an economic collapse or nature's fury, there's no feeling more secure than knowing that your loved ones will be well fed. If it's time to bug out or just camping with the family, Tomorrow's Harvest offers high quality, cost-effective, and long-term smart food storage. Get your free sample. The choices are great. From blueberry pancakes to cowboy chili, no one else has the meal variety of Tomorrow's Harvest. They also provide other survival necessities. Check out the various packages and customize your meal supply. Remember, there's no reason for fear today when you're prepared with Tomorrow's Harvest. Go to www.tomorrowsharvest.com and tell them you are Freedomizer.
Charlie Veach on Freedomizer Radio.
And it's good to make the connection with you, Travis, at Freedomizer. And I hear big station. You're one of the biggest kind of alternative resistance radio shows. So it's an honor to be on. You don't have to thank me. I enjoy spouting my extreme propaganda over the airwaves to all these innocent, malleable minds out there.
Freedomizer Radio, waking people up. They have their little puppets and underlings in place, and pretty much every government on this planet will do their bidding as they push us into this one-world system. That's how it works. Somebody needs to carve that thing up, and I think I might be the man for the job. Be the man for the job. Waking people up. Mr. Tinfoil. If I got to break down the information, waking people up. Every time I get to have this conversation, it sends them a little deeper down the rabbit hole. Look a little deeper. Freedomizer Radio. Freedomizer Radio. Waking people up.
But Jeb, I'm glad to see you survived the fall civilization. You look a little hungry. Did you put any food in that bug out bag?
No?
No? Well, there's gophers in that field over there. You like gopher?
I like gopher.
There's 25 ways to cook a gopher.
Is there?
In fact, there is, but there's no way to cook a gopher that's better than a little Travenile 1 gopher dipping barbecue sauce. Solves a real man's appetite. Got barbecue sauce in that bag of yours?
Nope.
That's all right, I do. That's right, just go on over there, get us a gopher, and we'll have some of that fantastic, yummy, tasty Travenile 1 gopher dipping barbecue sauce.
This completely fictional commercial in no way indicates that Travenile 1 does actually make a gopher dipping barbecue sauce. If Travenile 1 does ever decide to make a gopher dipping barbecue sauce, False Flag Radio fully expects the royalties from the brochure that you tuned into the commune and conspiracy theorist exclusively on False Flag Radio.
persist till the ink is dry. Long ago, I stopped asking why. Federal Reserve, I hate every inch of you. You robbed me and you cheated me through and through. Now I'm a poorer and more destitute man. Mr. Congressman, why can't you understand? Federal Reserve, what good do you think you do? Do you think we'll all be richer when you're through? Your dollars are no longer backed by gold. And your stone walls turn my blood a little cold. Federal Reserve, may you rot and burn in hell. May your walls fall and may I live to tell. May all the world reject your fake cash. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back.
All right, Freedomizers, we're back here with you. Von Helton still with us?
Yep, I'm still here. I wanted to mute so that you didn't hear my hacking and coughing and wheezing and gagging while the ads were going on. Yeah, I'm still here, man. I have a sore throat, folks. It's a sore throat from yelling and screaming and hooping and hollering at my TV. So it's not a cigarette call. I know my haters. See, it's in cigarettes. He's gonna die. He's gonna die. Let me. While we have the opportunity, there's some people out there that are wishing death upon me. That are saying in text or saying via PMs or emails that they wish I got cancer and that they wish I would die from cigarette smoking. Yeah, I have a message for those people out there. Go fuck off and die yourselves, because I ain't going nowhere. And if you want to wish death on me, I rebuke you. I bind anything that you say. And, I just thought I'd throw that out there, because there have been people that have been literally stating that they wish I got cancer and died from cigarettes. So, sorry to burst your bubbles, but I'm going to be around here for a long time. So, thought I'd throw that out there real quick while we have a chance. Now, ironically, I just got a message from my government contact. So, you guys get to hear it before anybody else gets to hear it. So you're gonna love this. That's my latest from my government contact. Dear Mr. James Paul Von Helton, I appreciate you spreading the word. I may have to delete my account and get in touch with you through another account. I am worried that one of my colleagues is monitoring what I am doing. I need to be clear with you on the events surrounding March the 3rd, 2011. On March the 3rd, 2011, the governments will be meeting in Germany. This is where the occupants of D23K9 will meet mankind as we know it. The occupants of D23K9 are large in size. They're approximately 12 feet in height. They have very large eyes and square-shaped heads. As you can imagine, they're extremely intelligent, and it's unclear to us as to their intentions with humanity. We have no indication that they are benevolent at all. Did you hear that? We have no indication that they're benevolent at all. D23K9 is not alone. D23K9 has two small moons. The star D23K9 orbits is a brown dwarf that was officially named by Canadian scientists as Mordecai. Okay, that and it, folks, if you research the name Mordecai, you'll find out that's not exactly pleasant. Mordecai has 4 planetary bodies orbiting it. D23K9 is a water world, and all other planets appear to be lifeless. We will know more when we are briefed after the meeting with the occupants of D23K9. Mr. Von Helton, I am taking great risk in communicating this information with you. A full polar shift is to take place as D23K9 passes between the Earth and Venus. It is expected to come very, very close to Venus and will disrupt Venus entirely. Venus itself isn't what the public has been told. Venus itself has life. We predict that Venus will become a dead planet and its atmosphere will be entirely gone due to these devastating events. I disagree with that. Let me state categorically, I disagree with that, but let's continue. The occupants of D23K9 know of our impending doom and of their impending doom. They're looking to work with our governments to secure their species and our species. Many people will be taken underground, and a determination will be made as to whom the governments would like to save. Most have been determined based on their genetics and ability to procreate. I appreciate your time, Mr. Von Helton. I will be in touch within a week. If you do not hear from me, it means that I have shut down my account in order to maintain my safety. And it's signed with his pseudonym, or her pseudonym. I don't know if it's male or female. Now, let me state categorically that I do not agree with this elitist, this government person's opinion on devastating Venus and Earth. All right, folks, we've had large bodies come through the solar system on numerous occasions, comets, asteroids, meteorites, some of them quite large. Okay, and now granted, we haven't had a planetary body come through like this one, but I do not believe that it will devastate the planets. Now, is it going to be a bumpy ride? You bet. Are people going to die? Yes. But is it going to completely devastate Venus or Earth or this planetoid? No, I don't agree with that.
And if anybody thinks she's totally insane, don't, because, okay, I'll have to go through Google real quick and find the article, but NASA made an announcement, I think it was last month. This is something most people won't know, but they said come, say, October, November, maybe even late August this year, there should be, this is what they said like an exploding supernova, very, very, very far away, but it's going to light up our night sky. And it's going to be like daytime for at least, like they said, a month, 6 weeks.
Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice is going to explode, according to them, yeah. Yeah,
well, yeah, whatever. I don't care what anybody says. Anything that's always not going to light up our whole night sky as if it was.
No, it would not. No, it would not. It would be a bright twinkling star in our sky. Beetlejuice is too far away to light up our entire night sky. I'm sorry.
So why are they telling us and debunking it now?
They're
saying, hey, watch out. It's going to be daytime at nighttime come the end of this year. NASA already made the announcement.
Right. They're saying that to cover their ass is what they're doing. They're going to reach a point, folks, where they're not going to be able to hide this shit no more. Okay? They're just not. And so what they've done is they put out this press release so that they've got their ass covered. And then if people are like, hey, man, it's 12 midnight. I'm supposed to have dark outside my house, and it's bright, sunshiny day. What the heck's going on? And when the hue and cry goes up, they're going to say, oh, it's just Beetlejuice going off. Everybody relax. See, that they've already got their pat answer ready for you, folks. They've already pre-planned this.
Everybody's making fun in the chat room. Beetlejuice was a movie, but yes, and it's actually, it's like, it is. I've got binary systems and star programs on my computer. It is a star. It is a very bright star that we see most nights. So it's real.
The spelling is different. It's not spelled Beetlejuice. It's spelled Bella Guise or something. Yeah. But yeah, we say it as Beetlejuice here in the States, but it's
because we're American.
Yeah, but it's actually
spelled,
right. It's actually spelled Bella Guise or something. No. Like, the spelling is kind of a weird spelling, but in any event, so yeah, they've got their pat answer ready to go when they're no longer able to hide this stuff from you, folks. They've already got their pat answer ready to go. And so when you all see this bright-ass star up in the sky, when you're supposed to be sleeping at night, they're going to say, oh, we're just relax, folks. It's just Beetlejuice going off. You're okay. And so they've got their pat answer already ready to go. Now, I want to touch some topics in this letter from this elitist, from this government person, because it's important. All right. Now, he mentions that D23K9 is a water world. Now, why is that significant? It's very, very significant, folks. It's very significant. If you go back and you look at the ancient Sumerian, Babylonian, and Phoenician writings and the calligraphy and the hieroglyphics of these three cultures, what do you find? You find these humanoid fish creatures that came down allegedly from Cirrus Major. Okay? Could these be the people that he's referring to? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Okay, but if you go and you do some research on this, and you research the Phoenician, the Babylonian, and the Sumerian, ancient cultures, you will find that there was allegedly a race of fish-type humanoids that came down from a water world, allegedly from Cirrus Major, but we don't know that for sure. And these fish-like humanoids came down, and they bestowed all kinds of information to humanity, blah, 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 blah. And now, what is their significance with the reptilians and the grays? Well, I hope they hate them. I hope they hate their guts, because, see, the governments of the world are already aligned with the reptilians and the grays. Okay, so these water world creatures, these intelligent humanoids, if they don't get along with the reptilians and the grays, that can only be to our favor, because that they might be coming down to give an ultimatum to the governments of the world to either do away with their plans as they have them now, or else. And nothing would please me more if that's the case. Now, do I know any of this for sure? No, but I find it interesting that when you go back into the ancient writings, that these fish-type humanoids are mentioned prominently in the ancient cultures and ancient texts. So I just thought I'd throw that out there to you. Now, the Canadian scientists originally called this Mordecai, the brown dwarf. I have not researched that yet. Like I said, I just now got this, folks, so you're hearing it first, before anybody on YouTube, before anybody on Stickam or Skype or anybody else has heard it. You guys are hearing this information first. I do not, let me state categorically, I do not agree with this elitist assessment that this planetoid is going to devastate Venus and Earth. I don't agree with that. Folks, we had Helton 1957. It came through our solar system, smacked into the sun, and we're all still here, okay? And Helton 1957 was not no tinker toy, okay? And we're all still here. So I'm not ready to, now, could it be that these fish creatures, these water-type creatures, are saying this in order to scare the government?
Hey, I'm just letting everybody know that I brought in both the guest typical open. So Buffalo and Buck, y'all are with us, so.
All right.
Hey, am I on?
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, Vaughn, I was going to relate that to Dagon, the fish god that the Pope wears the fish hat.
Correct. Dagon the fish god. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. That's one of the fish deities in ancient texts, right? Correct. And some say he was from Cirrus Major. We don't know that for sure. That's speculation. But yeah, Dagon the fish god. Exactly right. You got it right on the first hit there. That's one of them. That isn't the only one, but that's one of them. Okay. So now these aquatic type ETs may not be friendly with the reptilians and the grays, and if they aren't, that's wonderful. But what they may be doing is they may be telling these government class, hey, look, you either play ball with us, or Venus is gone, Earth is gone, and yeah. So, this may be a tactic from them to get the governments of the world to play ball. And if it is, fine by me. I don't care. That doesn't bother me in the least. But do I think the passing of this planetoid is going to devastate Venus and Earth? No, I don't. I disagree with this elitist on that point. But nevertheless, it's not going to be a picnic, folks. It's definitely not.
Dude, I'll be right down.
All right. But this is an interesting an interesting thing that he brings up, that this is an aquatic-type planet. So, you know, that...
Well, if you want to get back to some of the old texts and things, it talks simply about what Tiamat. You want to get into Tiamat, the water dragon, the water planet that was hit by another planet, and half of it coalesced and became Earth. And yeah, it's great stories, and most people don't think realize that those stories actually exist in almost every single culture. Well, at least what's left of the original cultures, because they've been, you know, overtaken. Just like the Ica stones. Have you seen those Ica stones?
Yeah, the Ica stones, and then you have the those discs in China.
Yes, the ones that look like records and most likely hold a lot of information.
They have information on them. They actually have grooves in them that many people believe, including most notable scientists, believe that these grooves in these discs in China might actually hold some type of information in them. That is a fact. That is not speculation. That is a fact. They call them the Drupa stones, and they look like a phonograph record.
They do, and it's amazing. But think about it. If a culture was destroyed and say they were highly advanced, you know, more so than we are, and all of a sudden a lot of their technology or anything, they reach the top of the golden age and they're heading down, and, you know, technology is going away, and they want to record part of who they are, because isn't that like the driving force of most people is, you know, we want our past and who we are to be known to those that come after us. And that's exactly what this whole idea was, is that they had to use a technology that would last. See, that's something we don't think about, because the metal, concrete, all these kind of stuff, it literally goes away after 1,000 years, okay?
Correct.
So what you need is something like rock. And that's just something that doesn't degrade. Now, it'll weather, like what we see happening to the Sphinx and all that, but it's still there, you know? Like Uncle Buck always talks about, like, his rock house he's going to be building. I mean, come on, that's what lasts. It's a great idea, and that's what these records were, or that's what I saw. The first time I saw it, that's the first thing that came to mind. Wow, that's got information on it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actual grooves in these Drupa stones that may hold information about advanced cultures and stuff. Now, I'm sure the governments of the world are trying their level best to get the information off of them stones, but I don't know if they've succeeded or not. I have no information on that.
Crystals are another way. A lot of crystals have been used. I think the reason why is because most likely it's like a holographic image, and they're still trying to take it as just like speaking or something, like what we have as records. I think it's more of like a little bit more than what we're looking at it as.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that very well could be. But no, see, this elitist, this government shill, which is basically what he is, he's saying that we predict Venus will become a dead planet and its atmosphere will be entirely gone due to these devastating events. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think it's going to be a pleasant ride, and I think that there will be a great loss of life. Don't misunderstand me. But I don't think it'll be total and complete devastation for any planet. I think that what will occur is it's just going to be a really, really bumpy ride, and there will be large loss of life, yes, but I don't believe that will be total annihilation. I don't agree with that sentiment. But it could be that these creatures are telling these governments that in order to get them to play ball, in order to get them to wake up and smell the coffee, in other words. Because, obviously they're not going to want to listen to a thing. They're already hooked up with the reptilians and the grays, possibly even the insectoids as well. Now, I actually had somebody that brought up a very interesting point about the insectoids. For those of you that are familiar with the Bible, and especially the book of Revelations, there is a passage in the book of Revelations that talks about the insectoids. It says that that basically the insectoids are already living under the earth, and that a huge pit will open up, and that the Bible calls them locusts, but it says that a huge pit will open up, and billions of locusts will come streaming out of this pit, and that they will have the ability to sting men for 6 months. Okay, in other words, this attack, this whatever it is, will last for 6 months. Now, the interesting thing about it, and this is what somebody actually pointed out to me because I had gotten it wrong initially. They said, Bon, these insectoids are not coming after us. And I'm like, what? And he's like, no, they're not coming after us. And if you actually sit down and read the scripture in the Bible, it says that these insectoids only attack people that have received the mark of the beast, people that have actually sold themselves out to the New World Order. The insectoids will not harm anyone that has refused to take the mark. Okay, and see, I've gotten it wrong. I thought the insectoids was just going to come out of that pit and just lay waste to everybody.
Well, see,
No.
think about the fact that life is life. See, that's what we tend to forget. Reptiles exist here. Mammals exist here. Insects, life in general exists here. This is where life is created. That's what it was always said. This planet was made for life. And that's why we are so important. And the idea that life automatically destroys life is something that, we don't do. That's ourselves. That's what we bring to the table. But of course, it's not to say that things that are naturally from here are going to come attack us unless, like what happened in Egypt, go up to your government buildings and stay outside the buildings until they leave. That's what we need to do. Take back what's ours. It's simple.
Well,
There's life is life. We are like life here because we are from here. So is life.
Well, I can't see the chat, but I'm curious to know how many people in the chat agree with me that as soon as these elitists go into their underground bunkers, we get big cement trucks and we back them up to the doors and we cement their happy asses in their underground bunkers. How many in the chat would agree with me on that? Because I think that's what needs to happen. That's just my humble opinion, but I think that's what needs to happen.
I'm completely with you there.
I don't know how many in the... I can't see the chat, so I have no way of knowing who all agrees and who don't.
There's one thing I can do.
Thought I would throw it out to you.
Here's that. But yeah, well, of course we've got quite a few that do agree and some that don't. But that's what I see is like, yes, agreed, yes. This one person says yes, it is, but what was that?
That's just blog talk starting up.
Oh, that's right. You might want to mute the top.
I did. I stopped it, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There's the chat room.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I got the, okay, I don't have the, okay, where's the chat? Oh, there it is. On that.
Yeah, right at the bottom. Unless you're just in as a guest, you won't be able to add anything. You'll have to do a quick little, but that's okay because it's about time for a break. And hey, this is a great way to put it as well. We have a ton of guests in the chat room. If you go to the top with Blog Talk Radio, there's a thing that says that you can log in or sign in or become a part of Blog Talk. It takes about 30 seconds. Once you do so, you can join us in the chat. And of course, we're here with the Punisher, Von Helton, and quite an enthralling conversation. We got a little ways to go if you're willing to put up with me for a little while longer.
Have we got that much concrete? I think we can find it. It'd be amazing. It's amazing how resourceful a person can be when they got people trying to kill them, you know? It's amazing how resourceful people can be. I mean, if you know these people are trying to kill you, you're going to do whatever it takes to save yourself, So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Of course, it may be entirely possible we're busy running for our lives and not worried about anything else. So I don't know, but we'll.
One of the things people never forget that we have abilities that they don't want you to know, and stand up. Know that you're stronger. Don't ever be afraid of your own power. Seriously.
Yeah, you can speak to a lot of things and use your will to stop a lot of crap that goes on in this world simply by resisting. That's something to keep in mind too. Of course, as a spiritualist, I believe in that type of thing, and so I believe that you can speak to things and to if not stop them directly, at least put them in a delay mode. Yes, dear. Okay, good deal. So,
yeah, Yeah, I was just telling James, I would love if he calls in. That would be awesome. Speaking of spirituality and everything else, he's definitely one that can speak on that. He was a monk for 11 years. He only hasn't been for the last 2. And talk about a raw view of the New World Order's control.
Right.
When you go in for that long and you come out, then you truly see how much difference it has made,
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I think they're a little bit miffed at us because we have kind of delayed the plans by 10 years. See, a lot of people in the chat probably are not aware, or a lot of the listeners listening in are probably not aware. The North American Union was supposed to have been in effect by 2000, folks.
Yeah.
It was supposed to have already been in effect by 2000. 2000 was the absolute latest.
And then we had the corridor we keep shutting down.
Right, exactly.
We keep finding little things. NAFTA went through okay, but not much sense,
No, not much. But we've been delaying them a great deal, and I think by delaying them as much as we have, we've actually benefited from it. I really do.
They've run out of time. Everybody's run out of time. It's beautiful.
I think everybody's run out of time. That's right. I really do.
And it's not a bad thing because I see everybody so worried about the 2012 change, and this is what I keep telling people. And you're here, so you'll have to put up with me saying it again. The simple fact is, the elite know that there's a change coming, and they are doing their best to affect that change. And the reality, the matrix, the control grid that we all share, that's what they're doing now. They're using their energy, their thoughts, in a way to influence what's coming. And they're keeping you numb, dumbed down, and amused by American Idol and anything else that keeps you from realizing that we all, as a shared participant in this reality, have that ability right here and now. There is a change coming. Whatever that change is, we have an ability now to influence the world that we are all going to be a part of. And they don't want you to know that because then you don't actively participate. They do. So they create it. But we have the majority. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know the power you truly have. So they keep hiding our past because they don't want you to know that mankind has done this before and can do it again. Because they don't want you to. No, they want you gone. The soft kill didn't work. They're about to go up to, hard kill.
Yeah, hard kill is next. Hey, let me go tend to my little one right quick. I'll be right back. All right?
Yeah, no problem. We'll go ahead and take a break and actually play a quick song because I have a little one as well, but mine's not quite as little as yours at the moment. But hey, Freedomizers, we'll be back. I'm going to play. Actually, why don't we talk about disclosure? We'll be right back.
The disclosure.
Hey, are your ideas for global takeover falling apart? Are you losing sleep over humanity's mass awakening? Is false flag terrorism fizzling out? Global warming gone cold on you? Do you want those global warming deniers to just go away? Are all your phony economic crises being exposed? Is the price of gold defying all your attempts to fix it? Isn't killing the Gulf of Mexico and poisoning millions of people reducing the population fast enough for you? War, famine, and GM food not getting it done either? No? Well, don't give up. Get disclosure. You'll be able to unite mankind with a phony problem and enslave them with one world government and taxes. Yes, disclosure. Your one-stop shop for full spectrum dominance. But wait, there's more. Sign up for Disclosure today and you'll get problem, reaction, solution absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Act now to be entered into our fabulous propaganda prize draw. Disclosure. Our surveys show that 9 out of 10 world leaders prefer it. Disclosure. Cleansing the minds of the unwashed masses with a tantalizing, terrifying, taxable new reality. I'm only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure. Disclosure. Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there is only one currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not employ critical thinking.
All right. Let me see. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I forgot that clip ended like that. So, not sure if Bon's made it back. Not. But that's the thing about. Oh, cool.
I'm right here. Yep, I'm here.
That's the thing about having kids, and it's not a bad thing. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is a thing, yeah.
So I feel you, and that's the good thing about Blog Talk Radio and actually being able to be in control of everything is, you know, when need be, there's a song or something else that can allow you to walk away.
That's right. But yeah, hopefully I've got her squared away, so we should be good for a while now.
And you got a really young one. Mine's 4 now, which is a little bit more, you know, he's quite a handful. He's taking a nap, thankfully, at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a job, but it's nice to have them, and really we're gonna have. I mean, you know, if we really do have a post-apocalyptic Earth coming up, you know, we're gonna have to seriously consider having children. I mean, you know, because otherwise we're gonna go extinct.
Everybody thinks it's the opposite. Hey, our carbon footprint's too big. Let's not have any kids. Okay,
Yeah.
well, do you know what you're gonna need just to be able to like work on the field and do? Okay, technology's not going to completely go away. People are so scared about that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, look, we're going to change. We need to move away from the city. There's a definite trend that's happening that is a beautiful thing. I think it's great. And, you know, it's good. We're going to bring in another caller. We've got 410 area code. And I'm hearing an echo, so I'm going to see if I can fix that.
All right.
And 410, you're on with us and the Punisher.
Hi there, it's Minarka.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, good. I know Nickie, but I didn't get your name. The male.
My name is James Paul von Helton. I'm running for president as a dark horse candidate.
Is that true? Or
That
are
is
you
true.
kidding around?
No,
Oh, okay,
that's
that's
absolutely
good.
true. That is absolutely true. James, just the way it sounds. Paul, just the way it sounds. Von is V-O-N, and then Helton is H-E-L-T-O-N. I'm a write-in candidate, a dark horse candidate. I will not be on any ballot. You have to write my name in. But yeah, I'm actually a candidate. I am a serious candidate. The reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because I don't want your money. All I want is your votes. I don't want your money. And so I'm doing it. And yeah, well, see, there you go. See, that one thing alone right there, the fact that I don't want anybody's money, I think is what's going to garner me a lot of votes in 2012, provided we can have an election in 2012. I mean, we don't know what's going on, but...
Oh, yeah, Obama could institute his 7 governors of the individual states and, what is it, 4 or 7? I can't remember.
10 governors.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? His 10 hand-picked.
Yeah.
Hand-picked.
We're not concerned about the people. We're concerned now about continuity of government. Yeah.
Yeah, to heck with the continuity of the government. The founders have continuity of government. It's called vote the bums out.
There you go. Or do what Egyptians are doing. Go and sit in front of your individual governmental building. Seriously, sit there until they leave. Don't let them in and don't let them out until they agree to leave. That's all it takes. Look, it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Well, I don't know. I heard that Mubarak is now stating, just recently, he's still not leaving. So
he's gone actually completely out of the place, but he did leave his vice president in charge. And according to the rules of the Constitution, of their constitution, that doesn't mean he's completely gone. And in fact, the place he's gone to is a little resort kind of an area where he goes anyway and spends half his time ruling from.
like a Camp David type deal.
Exactly. That's where he's gone. But that's okay. He left his vice president in charge. And this doesn't mean that his vice president cannot, like, change the whole course of the way things are going and put him back in control. That's what most people don't realize. And that's why the people on the square have not left. And in fact, what was seeming to dwindle has all of a sudden increased. They have thousands upon thousands more people showing up because they're trying to go back on what they want. The military so far has said that the people should have their what they want, and they are still kind of just stepping back, waiting. I have faith. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm actually very happy with the way the military's been handling it. Whoever's giving the control, we'll see, but for now, I'm happy.
I know, and believe me, I can relate, and nothing would please me more, but I've seen this happen before. If you'll recall the Palestinian refugee situation years and years ago, Americans went in there and helped the Palestinians and got them to start up voting and everything. And who did they vote in, folks? Does anybody in the chat know who they voted in? They voted in Hamas and Fatah, okay? So they started out with actual freedom, and they ended up more in bondage than they were when they were refugees, okay? So, you know, as much as I applaud what's happening in Egypt, I have a funny feeling that if and when they do actually get their freedom, they'll just vote in Hamas or Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, or Muslim Brotherhood, and they'll be right back into bondage again, which is kind of sad. But
well, hey, we let James, you're on, so your mic's open, so hopefully you can hear us.
Yes, thank you. It's great to be on Freedom of
And Vaughn, this is James. I love James. I have to say, he's been a good friend of mine for quite a while. He was the monk. He's the one that's no longer a monk. He's only not been, for 2.5 years now?
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's beautiful. So he spent all this time in introspection and reading and totally cut off the grid, you know?
Yeah, and I'm listening to this program, and you guys have to, it's going to sound stupid, but you have to fill me in a little bit about what this theory means, like, to day-to-day life. I mean, if you can summarize it for me a little bit, because I have really, a really quick intelligence, so I can pretty much grasp it if you can summarize where you're going with this.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm just saying. No, just if you can, tell me the importance of, we're talking about extraterrestrials and this and that, and I'm wondering, what does that mean for the average, listener right now? What is the importance of what we're talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it depends. It depends on the extraterrestrial. All right, the story goes that a long, long time ago, the governments, plural, of this world made an agreement with the reptilians and the Greys that in exchange for certain amounts of technology, they would give over certain portions of humanity for experimentation, perhaps even as food. Okay, these were agreements that were made by the governments of the world eons ago, long, long time ago. Okay, and so starting in the early 1940s, late 1930s, early 1940s, abductions began. And see, a lot of people are not aware of that because a lot of people don't know, a lot of people didn't hear about the abductions until the 1960s. That's wrong. Abductions actually began as early as the late 30s, early 1940s.
Well, if you look at old paintings, they've been going on a lot longer than that.
It's actually been going longer than that, correct.
Well, we've all seen in mainstream media, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and we've seen these different kinds of movies. We've seen the X-Files, and so we're kind of, at least from my point of view, we're clued in on, the possibility of that or the theory of it, but Wondering, have things been documented that way? Is there any way we can really know scientifically that these things have occurred? I guess.
Well, the best example and the most public example that I can give is Betty and Barney Hill from 1960s. I believe it was 1960s. It might have been earlier than that. Betty and Barney Hill were abducted allegedly by gray entities, and Betty was given a map, a star map. All right. We didn't even know what stars they were. We didn't find out about this star cluster until the 1990s, folks. All right, she's held on to this map from the 1950s to the 1990s because we didn't know what star cluster it even was. We've just recently had telescopes such as the Hubble and such as other telescopes of that ilk that were actually able to reach out and touch this star cluster. But we have now positively identified the star cluster that she has held on to from the 1950s or 1960s. That's documented. Okay, that's documented. That's not conspiracy. That's not a theory. That's not my opinion. That has been documented. Okay?
And then they ask, who is it documented by? Was it by NASA or who?
Everybody. I mean, everybody. It is well documented. It is well documented. Okay. So the question becomes, how, if there's nothing to these abductions, how did Betty and Barney Hill get this star map? And it's accurate. It's absolutely accurate. How did they get this star map? If all of this is crap, if all of this is just whatever, because we did not have the telescopes to find this star cluster until the 1990s. I believe it was with the advent of the Hubble. Okay, we couldn't find it. We just couldn't. We could not find it. Excuse me. And
well, hey, I just wanted people to know, I also just brought in another caller. This should be Raymond. Raymond, you with us?
Yeah, I had to, they call them smartphones, but guess what? That only as far as the users.
Yeah.
That's
kind of like a child-proof cap that's actually adult-proof. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to unlock technology, let your kid have it.
Yeah,
no doubt, dude. I know.
That's it. So what's going on, man?
No, I was just listening to your conversation, and I was just like in awe because I'm an avid coast to coast listener. I listen to Nori and all those people, and they talk about the Greys, the Shadow People, the Reptilians, and what? Hello?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Okay, and it's amazing that a lot of people don't understand the best way to hide something is to put it right out in front. They don't realize that they've been training us for like the past 50 years with all the sci-fi and all the Twilight, all the way back to Twilight Zone and the Far Side and Doctor Who and name any of them. It's all about desensitization because Russia's the best place to get like all your declassified documents because they're like on the black market, and I mean like people really don't care after the government fell.
They want money.
Yeah, they just want money, right?
Yeah.
No, but you get
when you can I just say something? When you said that that leaking things through science fiction and that kind of medium, but also I don't really want to divert the conversation, but on The Simpsons, they leaked 9/11 before it actually happened. If you watch those episodes, so I'm just supporting what you're saying by by that comment.
That's correct. They did, in fact, leak 9/11 on The Simpsons. That's correct. They sure did. They also leaked 9/11 on a show called The Lone Gunman, which was a spin-off.
I saw that too.
X-Files.
Correct. It was a spin-off show of the X-Files. And,
exactly.
and in fact, The Lone Gunman The lone gunman was I mean, it even had the Muslim terrorists, it had the planes, it had the Twin Towers, it had everything, and it was that, you know, I mean, that was pretty interesting. Yes, I'm
And you wonder why did they leak these things out? Why are they so proud that they think they're going to get their agenda passed and they're just going to leak things out? I mean, why do they do this? I mean, why do they want to let us know what's going on? You know?
Okay. Yeah, well, I can answer that for you. It's a psyop. All right. See, here's the thing. Okay. The entities that are on their way. All right. The entities that are on their way. These three big starships that are hanging around Pluto and Saturn. I think they're at Saturn now. These three big starships that are hanging outside of Saturn. Yeah. You know, we're led to believe that they are alien invaders.
Yeah.
They actually may not be.
They might be from here.
They might be. No, wait. Let me explain. All right. See, the agreements our governments have made with the reptilians and the Greys. You know, I mean, you can find the information if you look hard enough. Okay. Which leads me to believe that the reptilians and the Greys are already here and have been here for some time. Okay, so the enemy is already here. But the government and the media want you to assume that the enemy is coming. They're on their way. Okay, when in actuality, these entities that are coming may actually be friendly. But they want you to be pissed at them. They want you to attack them because they're already aligned with the reptilians and the Greys. You follow me?
Exactly. One of the theories I have is it was on Coast to Coast one night, and it started me thinking. The reason to answer you, James, that they were the reason that they're leaking this stuff and trying to desensitize us and make us more acclimated to the Greys and to the reptilians is because the reptilians and the Greys were complaining that you know, we weren't, you know, that you know, who wants their dinner freaking out when they show up? You know, who wants their dinner flipping out when they show up, or if they're trying to experiment on you flopping around and being freaked out? So they desensitized us because the reptilians and the Greys were sitting there going, and the shadow people were sitting there going, all right, these people are too hypersensitive because we've already experimented, and we need to experiment more, but we need them more relaxed and more calm. So, you know, we need y'all to, you know, desensitize them so that way that they're more, I'm trying to think of the word, they're more amiable.
Yeah.
So,
pliable, whatever, more structurable.
Pliable, amiable, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Pick your adjective.
Yeah. And the people that are coming, and the people that you're talking about that are coming, I believe, one theory I've always believed is, everyone believes that, you know, humanity started here on Earth, but humanity just popped up. I believe that, you know, the people that seeded this world realize that we're under siege, and they're coming to help us.
Maybe.
It
is entirely possible that the originators of our existence may in fact be coming back to help us. My question to them, though, is why in the hell did you leave us at the mercy of the reptilians and the Greys in the first damn place? So I'm not exactly happy about that. They should have never left in the first place. They should have never left us at the mercy of the reptilians and the Greys and these corrupt governments and these elitists. But that's another argument for another day, I suppose. I guess I really should be thankful that they are at least going to try and stop them. Now, you know what I think, and I'm really gonna blow some people's minds over this, but I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. I don't think our original creators would have come back if it weren't for the light beings putting a fire under their butts.
Thank you. And pardon that language, sorry guys. But yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Because okay, that's even written in the Sumerian text. That all of a sudden there's this whole other entity that no matter what, there was something that went into the creation of mankind that wasn't expected. That we have a spark of the Creator, and that we were given, this world was for us. It was even stated in the Sumerian text that they were here, they were stuck here to make sure we were okay. They became our watchers. because that's what they were told by the ones that were the emissaries of the Creator or the great creating force, or hell, who knows? Even those great big starships we see outside the corona of the sun, who knows who truly sent these? But it's been written in the very beginning text. It's not like this is like news, news, whatever. It's in there.
Can I bring this back to, well, Earth a little bit here, because we're getting, really speculative, but, and it's all very interesting, and it's very fascinating, but I'm wondering, how does this actually interact with, the average listener, my day-to-day life of,
How does
this really come into...
Do I want to talk about what?
Wormwood. How about Nibiru or the other dark star? That's a very big part of how this plays into here and now.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's wanting to know how it affects everyone here on Earth. Okay, well, in order to do that, I have to back up. All right, if you go and you read about the ancient Tibetan writings, you will find that they talk about a planet called Tiamat. All right, and they talk about an extrasolar body, an ESO, ESB, however you wish to say. I call it ESO, extrasolar object, that came into our solar system, and it or one of its moons smashes into Tiamat, breaks it apart. The core of Tiamat, however, remained intact, and that is what we have as Earth today. The remainder of Tiamat became the asteroid belt just out past Mars. And the
hammered out bracelet.
Yes, and the remainder then circled the sun and went back out into deep space again. And according to some, it originally started with 10 moons. All right, after its orbit around the sun, it was left with 7. It lost 3 of them. Now, why is that significant, Bob? It's significant because if you go into the book of Revelations and you read where it says a red dragon takes its tail and flings 3 stars towards Earth. Okay, and so the connection there is just uncanny with the ancient Tibetan writings. And so I found that rather interesting that the book of Revelations would actually bring that up. So is there correlation there? Yes. Yes, there is. Now, this second pass through our solar system, this next pass, I should say, because it's probably happened many, many times, but this next pass through our solar system, could it have devastating effects? If a direct strike occurs, yes. But this time I don't feel like a direct strike will in fact occur. Now, we still have Apophis out there, folks, so that's a real threat. And, of course, NASA is downplaying Apophis now, but there for a while that was on their radar hot and heavy. But they're downplaying it now. We still have the solar storm to deal with in 2012, 2013. That's still coming. So, just because the poles shift and the Earth reels to and fro like a drunkard, which is also mentioned in the Bible, I might add, that is not the end. That is the beginning. Folks, this pole shift is the beginning of our tribulations, not the end. Everybody thinks, oh, well, we get this pole shift and that'll be the end of it and everything will be hunky-dory, everything will be all right back. No. You're just getting started. The pole shift and anything having to do with that is just the beginning. Because then on top of that, you have the New World Order. On top of that, you have the aliens. On top of that, you have the solar storm, which will be coming. You have various other things that will be going on as well. The UN is saying publicly, that they want a one-world government based on communist Chinese philosophy. Isn't that lovely, folks? Yeah, lovely. Everybody like living in a gulag? Because that's what it'll be.
Can I interrupt you? Are you saying that this is coming from an alien conspiracy of some sort, that this Chinese mentality of dehumanization and people working 13 hours a day for a bowl of rice and stuff like that is coming from aliens? Is this some part of some conspiracy of the aliens upon us? Is that what you're saying?
No, wait a minute. Now, where do you think we got those ideas from? Where do you think the Aztecs got the idea of ripping out a beating heart out of a live person and sacrificing it Where do you think they got that from? They had to get it from somebody. Okay, you know, it is the height of arrogance, in my humble opinion. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. It is the height of arrogance for an advanced culture to come down and tell a primitive race of people, rip the beating heart out of a live human being and sacrifice it to us, and we'll keep the sun going up and down in the sky for you. That's what these reptilians told the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Incas, and the Mayans, folks. That's what they told them. They said, if you'll rip the beating heart out of a live human being, we'll keep the sun going up and down in the sky for you. That is a horrible thing to do to a primitive culture, in my humble opinion. So that's where they got that from. This idea of cannibalism, this idea of enslavement, this idea of working people to the bone. I mean, look at your ancient Sumerian text. What does it say? It says that these extraterrestrials made mankind work in the gold mines, digging gold. Okay, they got these ideas, these nasty, horrible ideas from the extraterrestrials that were here. That's where they got them from, because they otherwise would not have had them. I don't believe. I mean, it's like an innocent baby.
What do we do then?
Well, now, wait a minute.
What do we do? Oh, go ahead.
Wait a second. I mean, an innocent baby is innocent, okay? That baby is not going to grow up to be the next Charles Manson, per se. Okay, the only way that child would grow up to be like Charles Manson or Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong is if that kid is influenced by their culture or by an outside force. Otherwise, that child is totally innocent and will continue to be so. Okay, so these outside influences, and even Carl Sagan, the grand atheist of all atheists, Carl Sagan, says in his own book that it is his opinion, and if you don't believe me, you can go get Carl Sagan's book and read it for yourself. Carl Sagan says in his book that it is his opinion that mankind had a strategic jump, a help from an outside source. That's Carl Sagan saying that, not Von Helton. Okay, so now obviously Carl Sagan does not go into any detail as to what that outside source might have been, but he says it right in his book, because you have mankind. First of all, you have two types of mankind on the earth at the same time. You have the Neanderthals and the Cro-Magnon. Neanderthal remained primitive. Cro-Magnon all of a sudden takes this huge leap and suddenly starts producing weapons and buildings and clay pottery and all of this stuff. And Carl Sagan says in his book that they must have had some outside influence. Carl Sagan says that, not Von Helton. Carl Sagan says that in his book. Go get his book and read it. Okay, so these opinions, these ideas, these concepts that we've gotten over the years to hurt each other, to cause harm to each other, they had to come from somewhere. Okay, and it is my humble opinion that it came from malevolent enemy extraterrestrials. Excuse me. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, but that's my opinion.
No, it sounds good, but it's really, my original question was like, how does this actually impact, our day-to-day existence? I mean, how does that change that there's a malevolent authority out there that's trying to kill, three-quarters or a larger part of the whole population? And all these theories and things are really neat and very speculative and very interesting and well said. But how does that affect the average person on here, which, we're trying to, have food on the table, we're trying to have a job, we're trying to do this. I mean, who cares? I mean, do you see my point? It's like, it comes down to concrete. I mean, it's not really about somewhere out there. It's fun. I could read a book about Zacharias Stickman, and read that and go, oh, that's really good. But I'm not trying to...
I think I know where this caller is coming from. I kind of was at your place, at Vaughn's kind of place and then this caller's place is, we got to do our day-to-day stuff and prepare day-to-day, and then at the same time, it's like the ants, food storage, if these things take place, like a chipmunk, so to speak. I would say, if you look at just, world events, that it's prudent to have food stores. Let's just start right there. That would be our day-to-day thing that would help us out. Like I just delivered a load of sugar down here to Florida, and they said, oh my gosh, all these winter storms are having a hard time getting our shipments. So I would say in preparation, and if these things take place, at least you have a knowledge base of it, if anything. But I understand your point at the same time.
But yeah, I mean, and so the thing of it is, we've got to be, I think what it is, folks, is that, how will it change our lives? Okay, well, obviously, if the Earth does a flip like the sun did, does anybody remember my sun flip video? Does anybody remember that the sun flipped within a matter of a day?
Yes.
And it was caught on camera, and everybody says, oh, that's the camera spinning. No, it's not. No, it's not. If the orientation of the camera spun, the sun would be upside down, and everything in the camera picture frame would be upside down. That did not occur. The objects in orbit around the sun did not move, folks. The sun literally flipped 180 degrees in a matter of a day. I think it was about a day. 18 hours to a day, something like that. Okay, that's what could happen to the Earth. Now, is it going to? I don't know, but I'd say it's
Oh, but Don, we have this last 100 years of records that show that won't happen.
yeah, right. Right, yeah.
Well, I have to comment about what somebody said in the chat room. This whole idea, parents don't even know what they said. Hello, that's the whole idea of learning. Look at what language you use now. The words that are used have very limited meaning. If you go back, and you keep going back to some of the original languages, like the Sumerian language, whether it be written or spoken, the words that were used and the diagrams, the pictographs, the whatever you want to call it, what was used had many meanings. Many meanings. And that's the problem. We can't accept that now because it's always got to be A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. It couldn't be a whole sky, an image of a sun that represented not only the number 1, but, several other ideas like the beginning. So we don't have that concept here in English. But trust me, learning that language and understanding that idea alone seriously changes the way you view ideas and language in itself. So me just learning the Sumerian grammar thing alone, helps me understand a whole wide, fracturing of ideas. Not just that one thing means one thing, it's a web of things it means. And we don't have that in English.
Nickie, if I can address the Punisher, is that your name? I'm sorry, I can't remember now.
That's one of them.
Okay.
I have some lip popping things, but I won't use them on air.
Okay. Sure, fair enough. Well, it's just I'm coming from a different paradigm, I guess, in that I kind of, my path has been to go inward, to explore my own inner universe, and then so to hear about these theories and stuff kind of, it kind of gets me going well, whatever, how does that apply to me? That's why I'm always asking that question. I'm not trying to be a nag and say, I'm not trying to criticize you unduly, but my whole path has been to go inward and to find out, why this information matters to me, because in my life, there's, like your life, there's a lot of information out there about everything, there's...
Well, if I'm
so how do you discern what is most relevant to the average person? And it gets subjective.
All right. Well, if I'm correct, and the people that I've been getting information from the last few years are correct, your life is not going to be the same. You'll probably be on the run. The cities will be gone. And anyone near the cities is going to be rounded up by the government and put into a camp of some kind. And so, yeah, your life is going to be turned upside down. This is not going to be a picnic. Everybody that's getting on here and pointing their fingers and laughing, they're all dead. or they're at least going to be in a FEMA camp. They're not going to make it. They can sit there and point their finger at us all day long. I don't care. They're dead men walking.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I see the same thing happening. I mean, I'm pretty informed about the news, and I know about the New World Order and things like that. And I guess it comes down to what do you do with it. I mean, how do you react to the fact that we are going to live through some very difficult times? What do we do? And there's going to be people going to FEMA camps on trains, which are going to be the sheeple, and there's going to be those of us that are aware that have an ulterior plan. What do we do? How do we survive this? Because it's going to be a lot of chaos.
Your audio is breaking up, sir.
Yeah, badly.
Oh, sorry. I'll restate it. But what I was saying was that there's a lot of people that are
Hey, what we
that will
need
go on
to do, because that sounds really bad, but it's the top of the hour. So why don't we take a quick break and let everybody, step out and, walk around a little bit?
Yeah, take a breather. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the middle. I may not, I'm going to take care of my own smoking. May not be what Vaughn enjoys, but I enjoy my own. So we're going to move on, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to play a song and put everybody on mute for a moment.
All righty.
And then, so we're with the Punisher, of course, and it's been quite an interesting couple hours. They've gone by so fast.
Yeah, it always does. It always does.
Yeah, that's the great thing about learning new information and actually being excited about what you're doing. It's a beautiful thing, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So, hey, Freedomizers, what I'm going to do real fast is I'm actually going to, let's see, I want to play a positive message because we haven't done that. And let me see if I can find something. You know what? I'm going to play this one. I love the title. And for those that don't know about sadism, whatever, this is going to give me a chance to walk away because I need to. I do have fun as well. But it's called Amazon Boobs, Ancient Gods, and the End of Evil. So, hey, guys, we'll be right back with you.
What a name. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Freedomizers, keep on freedomizing freedom, of course. Be back with you.
All right.
When I was a kid, I used to get National Geographic every month. And like most boys, I immediately scanned its content for Amazon boobies. This is how I learned what an essential technological advance the Wonder Bra really is. Scattered around, these swinging boobs were strange stone statues that looked sort of like comic book characters. These pygmies would sometimes kneel and pray and chant and sing to them, which always made me smile. To them, it was a powerful and eternal God. To me, it was just, well, a giant stone cow. There are over 10,000 gods around the world, which look pretty ridiculous to just about everyone. If you weren't raised with them, they have no emotional resonance, no mythological power. They just look sort of like breakfast cereal cartoon characters gone wild.
Silly rabbit.
About 50 times a day, I am asked how we are going to stop using hierarchical violence to slowly destroy our world, our economy, and ourselves, and start building peaceful and voluntary solutions to complex social problems. The answer is very easy. Every moral evolution in history has been preceded by incomprehension and followed by incomprehension. Slavery, the subjugation of women and children, the denial of property rights, all seemed perfectly normal until they were vanquished. And afterwards, it is hard to believe that such evils ever existed at all. The same goes for a stateless society. It only looks impossible because a truly free and peaceful society has yet to be achieved. But once we get there, and we will, people will look back at governments as ridiculous, bloody, and evil hangovers from the primitive and drunken adolescence of our species. Your government cannot protect your property by stealing half of it first. It cannot protect your life by threatening you with endless violent edicts. It cannot protect your money by forcing you to use a currency that it counterfeits at will. It cannot protect your children by sealing them up in 18th century mental prisons for years while selling their futures off to the highest bidder. Foreign gods always look silly, and statism is just another religion. Statism has its churches, its symbols, its deities, its rewards and punishments, and it relies on the control and abuse of children. The parallels are obvious and endless. So how do we end statism? Well, exactly the same way that we end religion, by revealing it as just another giant stone cow. If you don't grow up kneeling beneath the grim shadow of some foreign god, it looks ridiculous, and so has no power over you. If you don't grow up speaking Esperanto, it just sounds like gibberish. To save the world, to free the world, to end war and imprisonment and abuse and torture and indoctrination and enslavement and the taxes and debts that enable all such evils, we need to stop teaching our children the language of the state. If we raise our children without aggression, without raising our voices, without raising our hands, without bullying, without control, without punishment and manipulation, with gentleness and firmness and love, they will never fear authority. They will never submit to a brutal hierarchy. And they will never accept the moral authority of those who call themselves the state. Our children will clearly see the evil foolishness of institutional violence because it will come as a shock and a surprise to them, instead of, as is so often the case now, an inevitable extension of how they are raised. Violence is a language we must unlearn. The only path to a peaceful future is to never teach our children that language to begin with. Then, and only then, all the ugly bullying and violence and control and hurting and kidnapping and imprisoning and counterfeiting and indebting and enslaving and worship and fear and obedience will no longer be charged with the power of myth and the petty religion of nationalism. The state will just be revealed with a silly superstition, a comic book god, a primitive hangover, nothing to be worshipped or obeyed or revered or even feared, just an old and dangerous toy we have outgrown. When that great dawn comes, when myth falls from delusion, the state will be revealed as just another giant stone cow, which we can all leave behind in the jungle of history it came from and where it damn well belongs.
All right, Freedomizers. You're back here with Nickie Nix as we rise above dehumanization. We have a great guest with us, of course, the Punisher, Von Helton. It's been a great couple hours. We got one more to go, so you up for it?
Oh yeah, I got me some Angus mini cheeseburgers here, and I got me another can of Mountain Dew, and I got me a pack of smokes, and so yeah, I'm settled in for the last hour for sure.
Perfect. I actually got me a beer on my way, because I don't do Mountain Dew, but I got one coming to me. I got my own cigarette going, and as far as that goes, and yeah, fresh hot sauce, freshly made, all good food. So, you know, we all have our own vices, we all have our own enjoyments, and for all the guests on here, we got Uncle Buck, we've got James, and we've got Raymond. All your mics are actually open, so you're with us too, so welcome back, everyone.
Yep, I'm back. I'm here still.
Thank you.
I'm here too.
It's a nice get-together.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Yeah. Okay, now I have totally forgotten where we left off, so somebody's going to have to...
Or we could go in a completely new direction. It's all good.
It's all, yeah, I have no problem with that. I can go in any direction. Somebody was jumping on me the other day. They said, Bon, I'm with you on this corrupt government, but I just can't wrap my mind around the extraterrestrials. That same day, I had somebody come to me and say, Bon, I'm with you on the ATs, but I just can't deal with this corruption and government stuff, So I get it from both sides. I get it from both sides, guys. So, I feel if I'm getting flack from both ends, I'm probably doing something right,
Well, with all due respect, that's where I'm at, because I know the New World Order thing, but the UFO thing doesn't really fly with me.
This is our great monk, James. So,
no, I'm not. But I'm just saying that that's the only part that, I really am so interested in the NWO corruption thing, because that's really, but the UFO thing, it's a hard sell for me as a person. It's fine. I'm going to listen and going to back off, but that's fine,
Well, James, I'll let you in on a little secret.
Sure.
I have over 30 years of religious study under my belt, and I was approached by the Catholic Church, and I was approached by the Protestants as well. Both of them wanted me to go into the ministry, but I decided to go in a different direction. And so there's a little bit of trivia for you in case you wasn't aware of that.
No, that's fine. No, I know you're a man. You come to your own conclusions and stuff, and that's fine. I just, that's the only difficulty I have with it.
Being a man, that's something you don't even see in media these days. There's such a demasculation, seriously. And I don't think a lot of people seem to realize how much has been done to take down the man's role when it comes to being part of a family and being part of a productive part of their community. I'm not saying of the government, of their society. No. Of their community. And it's something that seems to be lost a lot. It's
an excellent point.
Demasculation.
Yeah,
it's an excellent point, Nicole. If I can speak to that, it's really good, that me and, I'm sorry again, what's your name? The Punisher. If we can disagree and be men about it and stuff like that, and still, be civil about it, that's a big thing, because you're right. Men are taught to be, stupid and, you can't say anything, just, go along with whatever we tell you to do and blah, blah, blah. And, and I think if that's what you're saying, Nikki, I'm sorry if I'm misreading what you're saying.
No, James, that's exactly what I'm saying. And Vaughn, what do you have to say?
And this is cool, because I can agree with the Punisher about I can disagree with him on certain things, and he's respectful and civil, and he thinks I'm an idiot, and I think he's an idiot. No, I'm kidding. No, not really. No, I respect your view, but, we can disagree and just be okay with it, and it's fine. That's so cool about your program,
But yeah, actually, to touch on that a little bit, we had, most of you probably don't remember, but there was a TV show with Carol O'Connor years and years ago. He played a man by the name of Archie Bunker. And,
yes, I remember.
Okay. And Archie Bunker was still a man. And he would tell Meathead and Gloria how it was. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they totally did not agree with him at all. Despite the fact that most of the time he was telling the truth. But now the reason I bring Archie up is not because he was one of the last male role models, which he was. But I wanted to also bring up the fact that Archie Bunker actually predicted in one of his All in the Family shows a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today. Now, not the ET stuff, of course, but government corruption and that sort of thing. He was actually talking about that back in the 70s in All in the Family. Go back.
Wow.
If you can get a hold of some of the All in the Family episodes where him and Meathead are going back and forth about government and how corrupt it was and that sort of thing. Go back and check some of those out. It will absolutely amaze you how Archie back then was talking about government corruption and how
Bravo! Bravo!
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you go back and watch some of those old episodes, you'll be amazed at how back then Archie was talking about how government corruption was going to be the end of America if we wasn't careful. And
I didn't believe that because back in the day, Archie Bunker, I am sorry for the younger listeners that don't really know what we're talking about, but it was a really interesting mainstream program that we all watched, and whether we knew why or not, we liked the program because it was really pleasant and stuff, but he did really say a lot of prophetic things. I agree with you, Punisher, about that. Especially about the role of malehood. I mean, it's a huge issue nowadays. Nickie Nix, if you can do a program on that someday about the role of males in modern society, I think that would be a really great program. I'm serious. That would be really awesome because so many males, they have these concerns and these issues and stuff, and I think you'd have a huge audience for that one.
Well, who is our male role model today, folks? King of the Hill and Homer Simpson. Oh my God, are we screwed?
Exactly. I know.
I mean, we're screwed. I mean, our role models for men today are King of the Hill and Homer Simpson. We are, man, are we in trouble?
Well said. I mean, it is horrible. And you look at Barack Obama, our president. He's not really a man. Look at him. He's a wimp. What is this guy? He's a pansy. He's a CIA asset that was used and abused. The Manchurian candidate.
There was this joke. Okay, I saw it. I got to tell everybody. So, like, knock.
There.
Come on, somebody's good. Okay, thank you. Kenya.
Kenya who?
Can you show me your birth certificate?
yeah, exactly. Well, hello.
Come on, wasn't that great? Come on, I got to say, I'm sorry.
Can I just say something? America made history when we elected Obama.
Yeah.
We not only elected our first black president, we also elected our first woman president.
I don't know about going that far, but I will say this. I don't like the idea that he is unqualified to be president of the United States. I don't like that.
Well, let's do it Obama's way. Let's just form a committee so we can decide what we're going to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Because I don't have the balls to make a decision myself. I need to form a committee.
That's it. But I mean, this man's a dual citizen. He's a citizen of Jakarta, Indonesia, and he's a citizen of the United States. And if you go into the Constitution and you actually read it, dual citizens cannot be president. They can't. They're not allowed. It's forbidden. Okay, so how is it that the DNC missed this, the RNC missed it, Homeland Security missed it, NSA missed it, the Republicans, the Democrats, the Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA? How is it that everybody on the planet missed the fact that this man is a dual citizen and is not qualified to be president of the United States? How did they miss that?
The Hawaiian governor came forward. What did he say? That maybe he made a mistake. He never actually found the birth certificate. Yeah, there are several little things like this that have come out. Okay, plus the simple fact that if this says president, this is the problem I have. If this says president, that says that you don't have to be a citizen to be the U.S. Because look, it already happened. What do you do then? Then things have to be changed because precedent.
Well, then it makes all of his decisions, his executive decisions, null and void. This is not a U.S. citizen, so basically all his decisions are null and void.
And that's a big problem. That's what we've already done. Everything we've adhered to came from his directives. I mean, seriously. Okay, he continued everything the Bush era brought about. He continued. Okay, that doesn't go along party lines. That doesn't go along even like respecting the people that he serves. Oh, God forbid we adhere to the word public servant. Oh.
Well, see, another selling point for me becoming president of the United States in 2012 is that I have no problem showing my birth certificate.
Oh, thank you. Well, that will get you elected, in my opinion.
I would love to get on the stage with Mitt, hey, look at my hair, Romney, And Barack, I'm an illegal Obama. And Hillary, oh my God, here come the Chinese Clinton. I would love to get up on the podium with these guys and say, hey, you know, here's what I'm going to do as president. And I reach in my wallet and I pull out my birth certificate. And I turn to each one of them and I say, have you all got yours in your wallet? And just see. And folks, I won't have to do anything else. Just watch.
Well, you know, your campaign statement can be, it could be, you got yours, I got mine.
Yeah, there you go.
Got milk.
Well, what is that? Never leave home without it? Is that Visa? You know, your birth certificate, never leave home without it?
Those things, yeah.
I have mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be your vice president, by the way.
Yeah, I've got to carry mine across into Canada.
That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, like actually, the first time I went into Canada, I actually got my passport as opposed because you can't just use your birth certificate anymore. No, now you have to have something more.
You can't just sit there and say I'm American anymore. You have to say, no, really, I'm a real American.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm real, exactly.
See, this is why. Well, see, this is why none of these schmucks will ever debate me. Because the first thing I'm going to do is whip out my birth certificate, hold it up for everybody to see, and say, here you go, folks. Here's why you vote for me. And none of them will be able to produce it, I guarantee you. I guarantee you Mitt Romney, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, none of these clowns will be able to produce a birth certificate. They won't do it.
Yeah, Jewish Christian Department of what is she now?
Who the heck knows?
Oh, Mr. Napolitano?
Oh, yeah, Janet Napolitano, yeah. Yeah, she's Department of Homeland Security chief, yeah.
Go big sis. Go big sis.
Well, it just depends on home securing.
Yeah, you guys know how how Homeland Security was founded, right? You guys know that?
Go for it.
Oh,
go.
This is gonna make you mad. This is gonna anger you. If you don't like big government, this little factoid is gonna anger you. The whole reason this huge megalithic monster called Homeland Security was created was because the FBI and the CIA were not responding to each other's emails.
Go figure, big government, huh?
I swear by every god that exists, I am telling you the truth. Homeland Security, this huge monster that tripled the size of our federal government, exists because the FBI and CIA were not answering each other's emails. And that comes straight out of the mouth of George W. Bush himself. Yes, I swear to God. Is that not a stunner? Is that not a stunner?
It's really stunning to me. I mean, I think I heard a rumor that back then, but then to hear it again is refreshing my memory about why we have this evil monster, big sis, DHS problem.
I got to say one thing real quick just because of what was said in the chat room. And Daniel, I really do love you, brother, so I'm just going to say this real quick. Ron Paul 2012 is a great idea, but he's in charge of the Federal Reserve Oversight Committee right now.
Right.
We need to leave Ron Paul where he is.
Right.
That's all I have to say. Why not we go for somebody different? And hey, we have Bob Helton here.
Well, here's the thing, okay? If Ron Paul was able to garner a seat on the Federal Reserve, doesn't that raise a red flag in anybody's mind, or am I just barking up the wrong tree here? I mean, think about it, folks. Think about it.
Well, he's not on the Federal Reserve. He's on the Federal Reserve Oversight Committee.
I understand that, Nikki, but the point is that he's got a seat close to him.
Yeah.
You got to think, though, too, here, people, is that Donald Trump thinks that Ron Paul has no chance. He said that at a CPAC meeting, and he got booed out of I don't know if you guys saw the viral video on that, but he got booed significantly. I'm not going to say overwhelmingly, but enough that he was disturbed. You could tell by his facial gestures.
Vaughn, did you see that question in the chat room?
I have a question for I want to play the idiot here. Why the hell do we even have oversight committee?
That's a good question, because oversight committees and PAC committees and all this other garbage, lobbying groups, none of that stuff is in the Constitution, folks.
No, in fact, the Federal Reserve is going to...
Here's one. I'm rolling along. Check it out. Roll along Interstate 10 westbound down here in Florida. Big billboard saying, heightened awareness, Homeland Security.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big Sis.
Well, hey, like, seriously, I don't know if you saw it in the chat room, but Verde was asking what's the name of the Sunflip video, if you happen to know, but...
Oh, hang on a second. Let me check my videos, and I'll see if I can find it for you.
Yeah.
So, bear with me.
I love America because it's the only place you never have to grow up. I mean, you get told to school all your life.
You could be a Toys R Us kid, right? Come on, you could be socialized.
Be fine for the rest of your life.
Yeah, adhered to the government.
Everyone else tells you what to do.
It's okay. You can just vote Democrat or Republican, and it's okay because we support that. And that's okay because you're not insane if you think otherwise. Otherwise, then, well, you have a mental problem. So, well, we have psychiatrists for that. Yeah, big problem.
Well, there's also this whole thing of saying, look, we're talking about big sis, everything else, you know? It's like, why do we adhere to it? Why do we allow it?
Well, why is this, this, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'm not going to go there. Well, I mean, if you look at her, I mean, what the hell is up with this woman? I mean, look at her presence. Look at her bearing. I mean, it's like your evil sister, this evil person that wants to tell you what to do and how to act, and this person you never want to be around. And she's telling people at the Super Bowl what to do, and she's going on Walmart and telling people, if you see something, say something. And you're like, go away, big sis. We don't like you. Go away.
Snipers here. I'm here in Irving, okay? Well, okay, they moved it to Arlington. Wow, it's a whole extra 20 minutes away. So, seriously, they had snipers up there. The amount they had sniffing dogs, drugs, bomb, whatever, all over Dallas, the Fort Worth area, DFW area, completely the week before. We're not even just talking at the stadium. Now, when all this cold area hit, cold weather hit, and they were already starting to ignore Egypt, the news was, look, everybody else is dealing with rolling blackouts in Texas, all right? I'm kind of a little weird about that because that was all BS, the distraction. I'm just saying. So they had rolling blackouts, which we experienced here. Trust me, I was out there because of it. But so they do all this, and then the big news is, hey, there was no energy outage at the stadium. Looky here. See, the stadium did well.
There's the link to the Sunflip vid, Nikki, if you want to put it in the chat for people.
Cool. Doing that now.
All right.
And that.
There's a link to the Sunflip vid, guys, if you want to go check it out. The sun did not flip in seconds. The video flipped in seconds. The sun actually flipped in about 18 hours.
Crazy, but people think it's insane, but it's not. It's actually been recorded in other things. Have you ever paid attention to some of the cave drawings? I love this. When it shows about the spirals that appear.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it show? It always shows arrows heading up to the mountains. Have you noticed that? Has anybody else paid any attention to that?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. It's all in the cave drawings. It's all in the ancient writings. I don't know what to tell you. These guys knew what they were talking about years ago. And we refuse to pay attention at our own folly, guys. We really do. We better start paying attention because these ancient people knew what the heck they were talking about, and we better start listening to them because we're going to suffer if we don't. And that's just the truth.
Yeah, and let's ignore our past. Let's ignore everything that's been presented to us, and let's just let's accept it as something else, you know? It's like we have to accept mythology as being mythology. Why not accept the fact like Iliad's coins and things? We found like artifacts. We found Troy. We
Well, what
found
is the
the
thing,
wooden
though?
horse.
I mean, what is
Those
the
were
thing?
stories, not history, stories.
The thing is that if you don't learn from, the events, the events of the past,
It's those
then you're
that don't
doomed to
know the
commit
past
them in the
are doomed to
future.
repeat it.
If
Yeah.
you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can all learn from whatever our belief system is currently. We can look back and say, hey, look back at history and say, all right, now we know what not to do, don't we?
Right.
Thank you. Why don't we look at the Bible that way? Why does it have to be a spiritual leader at that point? Why can't it be our history? Why do we have to attach this whole other essence and ability that mankind has? Part of our influence, part of our creator, part of what makes us who we are is attached to the spirituality notion that we attach to nothing more than our history. And we want it to be something as what? Our Messiah, our Savior? Why not a great teacher? Why not we accept that and then look at the teachers that have come since then? Why can't we look at Gandhi? Why can't we look at Mandela? Why can't we look at those that are here right now speaking to you as you listen, and those that will listen in the archives? What is wrong with listening to the teachers that come now?
Hey, Nix, the reason that will never work is because those people are, there has to be a degree of separation because people on the whole are usually not happy with themselves. So bringing them closer to someone that they can actually relate with, they can't deal with that. So they have to compare themselves to someone that is long dead and gone.
Bertie, if my intro bothers you, then I have to wonder what it is you do in your free time that would cause you to be bothered by my intro. Okay? Because my intro is clearly stated towards criminals and towards evil people. So if my intro is bothering you, I have to ask what you're doing in your free time.
Wait, you don't have the ability to move that little button past that begins. Who's got the echo?
It's not me.
Well, I would just say this.
Pardon me.
Well, what's going on?
If I may.
Somebody has
if I
their
get to this.
speakers on that's connected to us, so if y'all want to turn the speakers off, that's cool. I'm just...
One thing I'd like to say, though, is that, I am a Christian fundamentalist. I'll just put that out there, so give me all the hate you want. But the one thing I really
we
know...
love you, so you can't do that, sorry.
Well, it's okay. I'm not looking for sorrow or sympathy or hate, but if you want to, go ahead. I have enough of it in my life. But one thing I want to say is that the people that I'm closest to are the Buddhists and Hinduists and Christian mystics currently today that are alive, because I have more in common with them than I do with any other mentalities of today, because being a monk for 11 years, those are the people, what is the saying, you're attracted to a certain breed of people because you've been that certain kind of
you
people.
You have that wavelength. You have that energy source. And
bird of a feather flies together, right.
It's
so
beautiful.
And that's the way it is. But, and I respect them. I don't necessarily agree with them, and just like I don't necessarily agree with the Punisher here, although what he was saying was well said, and I'm sure he has a lot of information that he's going on that he believes, and I'll have to look into that. So I just want to qualify that.
No, that's cool. Like everything else, hey, look it up yourself. Don't ever trust it.
Yeah, in fact, I've stated that many times in my videos. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Do some research. Dig, man. That's how you're gonna get. That's how you're gonna get to the truth. Is by digging into it and not letting go. Get like a bulldog. Grab a hold of that thing and start digging into it. Find out, man. Because that's the thing, and I've said this many times on my video. Don't take my word for it. Research it for yourself. Do some digging. Do some research. Find out what you can find out, because, and folks, I tell you, that Internet 2 stuff is still out there. The government's still talking about shutting down the Internet. So, You know, I mean, what's this thing they got now? The internet kill switch they're talking about? So, I mean...
they proved it already.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, folks, you know, you better be enjoying this internet while you got it, because you can lose it at any time. Yeah, especially with the way Obama is being attacked now, because, I mean, even Democrats...
Sorry. Yeah, I just want to say, Vaughn, I'd like to get, with Nickie's permission, of course, you on with Lieutenant Colonel S.C. That'd be a great show.
Okay, well, okay, that's fine.
Okay, all right, just...
Well, yeah, I'm sure that would like actually, you know, some of my shows.
Yeah. So wait a minute, I got to salute this clown if I do that, though. No offense if you're listening. No offense if you're listening. But yeah, I was a tanker, so you know. But yeah, I don't mind. I'll talk to anybody.
That'd be awesome. I would love for you to come back with me all together. So I've had fun. And
yeah, I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. Just be advised. I'm highly opinionated, and I am not afraid to share my opinion. Not in the least.
That's the good thing about
No, that's not allowed on the program. I will say that for Nikki. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dave.
We love it. Say what you want. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. But,
thanks to Uncle Buck again, of course, for getting me in touch with the great Punisher here.
Well, I don't know about how great I am. Me and my pitiful little 6,000 subscribers. I mean, you know, I'm not that slip on YouTube's radar screen. You know, if I was pulling down the numbers like Sexy Phil or Shane Dawson or Fred was, then yeah, I might, you know, I'd be different. But
well, I think you have something intelligent to say and I'll sit there and so.
Yeah, at least I'm not like Shane Dawson sitting in my closet talking about oh, woe is me. You know, I still haven't quite figured out. I tried to actually sit down and watch one of his videos, and I'm sorry. He was sitting in a closet. You could clearly see he was in his closet because his coats were hanging in the background, you know, and so you could clearly see the man was sitting in a closet, and he was just going on and on about nonsensical stuff that I just, you know, and I'm like, why? Why is this video pulling down 2 million views? It's a dude sitting in his closet railing about his life. I mean, you know, like nobody in their lives have problems. I mean, you know, what is the deal here? You know, and I just couldn't get it. I'm sorry. You know, maybe I've grown numb to society or something, but I just couldn't figure it out. I really couldn't. And but I tried. I gave it my best shot. I actually tried to sit down and watch it, and I just wasn't getting there. You know, because he wasn't.
One more quick thing. I hate to do it because we passed up our break again. So let me do this one last time because we are running out of time. And anybody who wants to comment and has anything to say, we always welcome. Like just any view, you know, if you like it, hey, you know, I'm sure Vaughn doesn't mind someone saying, hey, you're pretty cool. It wouldn't be a bad thing either. So you can always call us at 347-324-3704. You can also check out the other hosts here at Freedomizer Radio at www.freedomizerradio.com. And, of course, we're going to be back with you. You know, I'm going to play another quick song. I'm going to play some Vinnie Paz. Well, you know what? Why don't we play some...
Megadeth. Motorhead. Oh.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, Motorhead. I like that one.
Because I don't think they'd like... I'd play some straight out Manson, so we'd have some issues.
Wow.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to play some Payday Monsanto. They were on just a couple nights ago. It was quite a great show. I got to talk to him. He apparently says he knows me. So we're going to give him some respect like I guess apparently he gave me. There we go. Hang in there, Freedomizers.
And we're going to have to come to the grips with the fact that they told us exactly what they were going to do. They wrote a document called the Project for a New American Century.
Don't ever say I didn't warn you. That's about all one can do. Anything these creatures say, the opposite
Every day, their grip is getting stronger. We must not pull the tree of evil any longer. Every day, the tyrant's getting closer. Will you sit back and watch? I do what's in the What can I get with 2.3 trillion? When does a citizen become a civilian? When did the heroes morph into the villains? How can two planes powderize 3 buildings? These are questions that could get you murked, politically, socially, physically, put into the dirt. Many swear that there's some kind of conflict of interest within. The conflict depends upon what you're interested in. You can chant 9/11 was an inside job all day until you sing to Mossad and pay closer attention to Flight 175 and the odd cylindrical pod beneath the fuselage. Then it's 2 plus 2 level addition after you factor in the flight termination systems. Then flash back to the cash the good rabbi stole, September 10th style, right down the rabbit hole. You can get unlimited corporate news. You can have any mercenary you choose. What can I get with 2.3? You can steal a couple million souls. You can get everything under control. The mystery hit the Pentagon list was not an act of randomness. It murdered accountants, bookkeepers, and budget analysts. That side of the building was retrofitted prior to this to withstand bomb blasts and nicknamed the Catcher's Mitt. If that will give you some kind of clue why they glued them on, maybe you should take some medication for your new disorder. If buildings are burning, don't ever trust a news reporter with 267 stories of gruesome slaughter. Don't ever mention Dubs Zakeem and trillion stolen, much less missile-equipped Boeings, even remote controlling. With System Planning Corporation International, the folks that see if you got some buildings you like to crash into. But that's impossible without the proper capital. That's why I'm asking you what you would do with unimaginable wealth. So much money you can't delve in it. Enough to buy 10 presidents in 12 minutes. What can I get with 2.3? You can get unlimited corporate news. That's right. What can I get with 2.3? You can have any mercenary you choose all night. What can I get with 2.3? You can steal a couple million souls. Indeed. What can I get with 2.3? You can get everything under control. Now that's greed. What can I get? What can I get?
You know, it took me about a year to start hating the 9/11 victims' families. It took me about a year. And I had such compassion for them, and I really, I wanted to help them.
That's about a millionth of what you can get with 2.3 trillion. Some clown named Glenn Beck fucking with a Pentagon talking point of how he hates the 9/11 victims' families. But that didn't roll over too well, did it, Glenn? They're well aware they can no longer create a consensus as effectively as they used to. So they parade some other clown on the other side of the spectrum named Geraldo to tacitly give 9/11 truth a 6-minute segment semblance of credence, as if we didn't have that 9 years ago, dummy. The system is designed to make you think anything is funny. Pretty soon you won't be able to buy anything with your monopoly money, dummy. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? What can I get with 2.3 trillion?
All right, everybody. We're back with you. I gotta say one thing before I keep going, because I keep hearing like their Monopoly money. All I gotta say is like purple golf balls. So.
And fuzzy dice. Don't forget the fuzzy dice. It's very important.
Anyway. That was Payday Monsanto, for those that don't know. Quite an interesting group. Oh, well, man. Definitely something people should check into. He is a friend on my YouTube channel, so you can probably find him that way if you don't know who he is. But there's quite a few things. And you can always look at the archives. He was on with Proof Negative just a couple of nights ago. I loved it. Vaughn, it was funny. I hung out with him, and I got on there, and the first thing he did was say my name, say the name of my show, and says he knew who I was like, cool, yeah, first time talking, nice to meet you.
There you go.
It was great. But hey, everybody's guests that's with us, your mics are still open, and we got a 720 area code with us as well. So 72 area code, hello, you're with the public.
Hey, how you doing? I love that song because y'all just let the world know how ignorant Glenn Beck is, because I was looking at the celebration of what the people are doing over there is, and Fox News is the only station still scaring grandmama, thinking that them people going to come over here and attack America. And I listen to ABC, NBC, CBS, everybody talking real positive about it, but Fox News, they still out there trying to split the world up with stupidity and ignorance and trying to scare grandmama like them people on it. I was just looking at Glenn Beck, and he was, he could see the celebration of what them young folks did to get from honor somebody who was keeping them honor. He was, because, what Fox News believe in, when they see that many people out there, they probably would have put American soldiers on and start spraying them people. See, they need to get over with this trying to split the world up and let's find some peace in the world.
Why would they want to separate us so much? We're so much alike. What is this whole idea that we have to...
But this is Fox News. Everybody else wasn't doing that. We listen to Fox News. They out there preaching, still trying to scare grandmama, thinking somebody out to get grandmama. Grandmama got a history. We understand grandmama was in the 50s and the 60s spitting on people, but ain't nobody out to get grandmama.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, I will say this, though. I will say this, though. There is obvious threats to Islam, such as Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda.
Well, you know what?
They are real.
If you look at the history of what Christians did in America, so we can't, because they ain't blew up buildings, they ain't blew down stuff, they ain't killed people. Ain't nobody perfect. But, if we get to look at our own faults before we start talking about somebody else.
I mean, come on. Everybody's done something when it comes into the name of a God. And that's never a good thing. So let's get over this whole having to, be controlled by another religious dogma. Why does it have to be Christians stand forward? Because it's not Christians, it's Americans that stood forward. It was people that stood forward.
It was American Christians who was out there pushing it the hardest, though. They was out there doing what they was doing back in the day, but that ain't even what it's all about now. Hey, we all got a bad history in all, America got a bad history, so we can't just keep pointing fingers at people like we ain't never dropped bombs on people. When we attack Hussein didn't attack us, and we dropped our bombs and killed plenty of women and kids. So we got a history too. So we got to stop trying to point fingers at people and realize what we did. And for Fox News to be out there scaring grandmama and other people, it's a sad day in this world, and people like everybody need to come out and talk against Fox and get their ass off the air.
All right, cool. Wait, I had to stop that for now because that's a little out of hand. Sorry.
All right. Let me respond to that. Okay. Here's the thing, folks. All right. The New World Order was using the old Soviet Union, and if you recall, they were using the Soviet Union to go around to all these governments and try to take them over, and it was the Red Scare. And Soviet Union is going to take over here, take over there. And in fact, the Soviet Union did make some gains. So that's what kind of gave it some credibility, was the fact that the Soviet Union was, in fact, making gains. Of course, they met their Vietnam when they entered Afghanistan. But, so what am I saying here? Okay, the New World Order was using the old Soviet Union, and they used them into the ground until they were bankrupt. Now the New World Order is using America the same exact way. They're going to use us until we're bankrupt. Then after we're bankrupt and destroyed, then the New World Order is going to start using China for the same thing. The New World Order is ironically very predictable. They do the same things over and over and over and over again. That is the one good thing that we, and I use the term good advisedly, obviously. But they do the same thing over and over and over again, so that's a good thing for us because we can actually get an idea of what these cretins do. Because a lot of people come to me and they say, well, Ron, how do you know this stuff is New World Order? How do you know? How do you know? Because they've done it over and over and over and over and over again so many stinking times throughout history that all you got to do is go back and look and say, okay, well, how did they do Napoleon? How did they do Waterloo? How did they do the French Revolution? How did they do the American Revolution? How did they do that? And so you can go back through history and you can see how they've done the same spiel over and over and over again. And so the New World Order used the Soviet Union. They used them until they were bankrupt and broken. And now they're using the United States until we are bankrupt and broken. And then once we're bankrupt and broken, they'll move on to China. They'll use China the same exact way, folks. I guarantee it. Provided, everything carries. We don't get a pole shift. We don't get a solar storm, that sort of thing. But yeah, they run the same playbook over and over and over again. And they think we're not smart enough to go back into history and look and see what was happening in the past. They're counting on you not to do any real research. That's what they're counting on. Luckily, though, people are waking up. They're starting to do research. They're starting to study this stuff, and they're starting to figure out, hey, they used the Soviet Union until it was run into the ground, and now America's being run into the ground. Gee, correlation? Yes, of course. Same players. Same exact players, man. It's just instead of the Soviet Union, now it's America. And then tomorrow it'll be China. And then after that, it might be India. Who knows? But it's the same old lazy playbook over and over and over again. Same old playbook, man. All you got to do is go back in history and start digging through this stuff, and you'll find it. It's not hard. It's not hidden. It's the idea that they're banking on you not to do any research. They're banking on you not to study. And what does the Bible say, folks? Say it with me. Study to show yourself approved. Okay, so there you go. I mean, it's right there in the Bible even. It's also in the pagan writings too, I might add. But, a lot of people are more familiar with the Bible. So, that's why I use the Bible a lot. They say, well, Ron, you're a pagan. Why do you use the Bible a lot? I use the Bible a lot because a lot of people know what's in the Bible. So I use the Bible a lot.
It is the most read novel, whatever, history book in writing. So.
Correct. And that's why I use it. Because a lot of people say, Ron, you're a pagan. Why do you use the Bible all the time? Because everybody knows what the Bible says, or at least that's a darn good idea. So I'll quote the Bible every once in a blue moon, and I'll tell you, but yeah, it's right there in the Bible. Study to show yourself approved. Study what? Study the history. Study the past. Study what these clowns have been doing to humanity for century after century after century after century after century, because they do the same stuff over and over and over again, because they think that you're not intelligent enough to do due diligence and do some research. And that's what it is, man. That's what it is. It really is.
That's what it takes. Look it up for yourself. We're not telling you at all to take what's given at face value. No one here comes and says that. What they say is, here, this is what I found. This is what works for me. Find out what works for you.
Yeah, that Pledge of Allegiance thing, I find that very offensive, that the schools are refusing to do the Pledge of Allegiance now because it might offend some Muslims. Yeah, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be nice on Nickie's show. I'm going to be nice on Nickie's show. But, I have a few choice four-letter colorful metaphors for those people who say that, we might offend the Muslim communities if we say the Pledge of Allegiance or we salute the flag. I got some choice words for that, but I'll be nice. I'm going to play
nice.
nice.
Add something into this conversation about that, because, if you really look at the words of the Pledge of Allegiance, it doesn't really say anything. I pledge allegiance to the flag for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, et cetera, et cetera. And what does that actually mean? I mean, it doesn't really,
okay.
I mean,
I got that whole red in the pledge too, like Red Skellington doing the whole pledge thing, but we're like just about out of time. So, we're going to have to save that conversation for next time.
For another day. Yeah.
That's a whole conversation getting into what, what's the Pledge of Allegiance means.
We could bring it up on Tuesday maybe, or some other show.
There you go. There's always another day. There's always room for Jell-O, folks. Always room for Jell-O.
There you go.
Always
well, hey, speaking of, hey, James, you want to say hi to everybody real quick? And I still got to bring you on. We still got to go on with your next show for that matter.
Oh, I mean, hello to everybody. What are you saying?
Yeah, you want to say hello to everybody because we're running out of time, that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course. Hello, everybody. I love you. I pray for you. And, you know me. I'm a fundamentalist Christian. You better watch out. I might convert you. Good luck. But I love you all anyways. I accept everything you believe. And, you know, we'll all find out in the end. And I wish you all blessings. And thank you for having me on the program, Nicole. And for the Punisher, I hope you don't punish me soon. But
I won't. I won't. I think.
Thank you very much.
I think you're safe. You know, I don't. You know, and it's interesting because a long time ago, back when I was just a child, I made an oath never to harm the innocent, and I take my oaths very seriously. And so no, I you know, because everybody, oh well, you know. Does that include stepping on an ant, Vaughn? Yeah, well, you know, if I know I'm going to deliberately step on an ant and know I'm going to do it, then no, I won't do it. But
what do you want to punish people then? What's your name, Punisher then? I'm kidding. We have no time for that anyway.
Yeah, that's a whole show in and of itself.
I know.
Well, hey, James, it's been great as always. Uncle Buck, you want to say hello and goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, great show. I just muted myself because I know it's loud. And Josh, I'd love to get you on again. Nick, I'd love to have him on. I think he's great. And promote the show, all his subscribers, and get Lieutenant Colonel S.C. and Sherry Schreiner on. What a kick-butt show. I love it. God bless y'all. And thanks, Vaughn, for coming on. And we'll be chatting, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, and of course, the great Punisher here, and I'm putting in your tube one last time. You've already gotten at least one good subscriber already added to your account from the show.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we only got a few minutes left. Let me plug the fact that yes, I am really running for President of the United States. It is not a joke. It is not a gag. I am a write-in candidate. Okay. What that means, folks, is that I will not officially be on the ballot, which means you'll have to write my name, physically write my name in. If you're using electronic box, there will be an empty box below the president, and you just write my name in that empty box. If you prefer otherwise, you can request a write-in ballot, what they call a write-in ballot. You can also vote absentee and write my name in that way. But I am really legitimately running for president as an absentee, as a write-in candidate. You must spell my name correctly. It is James Paul Vaughn. Vaughn is spelled little V-O-N, Helton, H-E-L-T-O-N. Okay, 2 words there. Vaughn Helton is 2 words. V-O-N, H-E-L-T-O-N. So you got to get the spelling right. But I am really running as a write-in candidate for president in 2012. I have plenty of videos on YouTube about my presidency. Feel free to download those and pass them out. 90 seconds. Okay. Just real quick, just download them, pass them out to your friends, tell people, get me into the White House, and I will make change. Okay, there you go.
There you go. We'll get someone like what Jesse Ventura did. He won't run again because he already did his public servant time. And that's what people should do. You get in and you get out. You do what you're supposed to do, and you don't accept politicians' money. Plain and simple. Lobbyist money, you don't do it. That's a great thing. It can happen. 60 seconds. It's happened with the new governor write-in in another state. It just happened recently. It's a beautiful thing. It can't happen again. We don't have to adhere to the system. You've been with Nickie Nix as we rise above Dehumanization. The great Punisher Von Helton has been with us. I'm very much looking forward to doing this again. So I guess I'm going to end it with another Payday Monsanto. Like I said, I really got to talk to him again. I'm kind of surprised he knew who I was. So I'm kind of impressed. So I have to give it to him. So hey, Freedomizers, keep on freedomizing. I think we've got Joanne Reddy with Liberty Underground and the Moretti Report coming up. So check us out at www.freedomizerradio.com. Catch you soon.
Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold, and we'll be be of service to you today?
Yes, I have this recurring charge on my monthly statement, and I can't figure out what it's for.
Well, we'll certainly do our best to help you. What is the charge